men. I don't want a woman that can't hold her own ground. I don't want a mindless woman that cannot be a partner in life. For the kind of devil we deal with, I need somebody who can touch and agree with me. I need somebody who can be strong when I'm weak. I need somebody who can be wise when I'm angry. I need somebody who can help in a crisis. I need if somebody breaks in the house, I don't need nobody screaming in a corner. I need somebody who can grab a lamp. Did I say that? Stop out the door. Have somebody else coming in the other door, because the work of God has got to go forward, and no one monkey is going to stop the show. Can I hear some noise in this place? If you don't want to go, please don't hinder me. I need some strong leaders, some leaders with some spine and with some backbone and with some guts. I'm tired of people whimpering and crying and chasing people and begging people. I ain't gonna beg you to do nothing. If you don't do it, God's got somebody else that'll stand up and get the job done and get it done with power and with glory. And I'm gonna find them, and while I'm waiting, I'm gonna do it myself. Nice. And you still know how to be graceful, and you still know how to be kind, but don't push me, because behind my velvet glove, I got an iron fist. I can make it by myself. I can take it by myself. I can stand up for myself. I'll fight you back because I got an iron fist. In a velvet glove. Jail married a mere housewife succeeds after the Deborah and Barak have driven 9,000 soldiers down and beat them down, and not one of them escaped. Not one of them escaped. It was so bad that Sisera had to jump off his chariot and run like a little girl into a tent. And he had the right one, baby. And nailed his head with a hammer to the ground. God says there's some things in your life you just got to nail it. There's some stuff you just got to nail it. There's some stuff you just got to nail it. Ain't no need in counseling it. Ain't no need in wrestling with it. Ain't no need in talking to it. Ain't no need in waiting on it to feel sorry for you. This is a season in your life where you got to nail it. If you don't nail it, it's going to nail you. I don't know who I'm preaching to. I don't know what you're going through. But God said he's going to put your enemy in a vulnerable position for you to nail it. Look at somebody and holler, nail it. Type on the line, nail it. If you get the interview, nail it. If you go after the house, nail it. If God opens up a door, nail it. Whatever it is that God puts in your house, I want you to nail it. And by the way, devil, not in my house. You're not going to come in my house and do whatever you want to do. Because as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. I want 60 seconds of crazy praise from people who made up their mind. I'm going to nail it. I'm going to nail it. I'm going to nail it. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to nail it. I don't care what I got to go through. I'm going to nail it. This is my moment and this is my time. This is my opportunity. This is my job. This is my chance to get my degree. I don't care what my age is. I'm going to nail it. I want you to praise God for nailing the thing that tried to nail you. Open your mouth and give him some praise. Praise him on the internet. Praise him faithful. Let everything that has breath praise the Lord. Praise Him right now. Praise Him right loud. Praise Him with your mouth. Praise Him with your feet. Praise Him with your hands. Somebody's got an anointing to nail that thing. Nail it to the floor. Nail it till it can't get away. Nail it till it doesn't move. I can't hear you. Open your mouth. Yes, yes. Confess it out loud. I'm gonna nail it. It's tough, but I'm gonna nail it. It's flooded, but I'm gonna nail it. If I have to work overtime, I'm gonna nail it. If I have to take 2 jobs, I'm gonna nail it. If I have to study all night, I'm gonna nail it. This is a season where you gotta nail it. If you don't nail it, it'll nail you. Make up your mind, I'm gonna nail it. I'm gonna nail it to the floor. I'm gonna nail it to the floor. I'm gonna nail it to the floor. I need a victory praise, a celebration of when she nailed Sisera, the war was over. When she nailed Sisera, the war was over. And God said, when you nail this, the war will be over. Say it till the world hears you. Say it till the enemy hears you. I'm going to nail it. Whatever you come against, or whatever comes against you, I command you this day, in the name of the Lord Jesus, to nail it. Stop entertaining stuff you won't nail. If it gets in your tent, nail it. If it lays in your bed, nail it. I don't care if it's grief. I don't care if it's anger. I don't care if it's low self-esteem. It's time to nail it. You ain't got time to feel sorry for yourself. This is a moment for you to nail that thing in the name of Jesus. Get whatever you got to get. Get therapy, take counseling, take medicine, read scriptures, say Bible verses, sing, oh, I love Jesus, turn around in the circle. I don't care what you use as a weapon, but fight. Fight! 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 Till you nail it! Open your mouth and holler! Devil, that is the sound of velvet gloves! Make some noise! Utterly destroyed, 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 out of your family, out of your daughter, out of your grandchildren, utterly destroyed, utterly destroyed, utterly destroyed, utterly destroyed, utterly destroyed, utterly destroyed, utterly, yeah. say to you this week, as you go into this week, as you go into this week, as you step into this week, as you step into this week, as you step into this week, you're going to nail it till you utterly destroy it. For the first time, I began to realize, all my life I wondered, why did he call me? Why didn't he get one of those talented people, one of those gifted people, one of those good people? Why did he? I suddenly began to realize that he chose me because he turns weakness into strength. The Bible said he did it with Samson. He did it with Jephthah. He did it with Barak. He did it with Deborah. He did it with Jael. And you mean he won't do it with you?
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Hollywood Next, a.k.a. Sexy Pieces, Sexy Next, Team Next. I am in the building. Thank you to each and every one of you guys that's tuning in to this special live that I prepared just for you all. I want to go over everything that I have covered this week in the R. Kelly's trial. I just want to say thank you guys so very much for tuning in, taking the moment to listen to the first 13 minutes of my holy praise. And in order to understand my purpose, I think you guys need to understand my praise. My praise is real, my purpose is real, and God is real. So with that being said, again, welcome to my special live that I have just for you guys. I prepared everything in a professional manner for you guys today. So this will probably be one of my best lives ever. Okay. So with that being said, let's get into these notes about the testimony, starting with Monday, September the 13th, 2021, starting with Elysian Mayweather. So, as her testimony began, it started with, did you receive a subpoena? She said yes. It says, do you want to be here today? She said, absolutely not. Then there was an exhibit one. Do you know who this is? And she said yes. And they said, who is this? And she said, that's Robert Kelly. Now, can you point him out in the courtroom? And she said, gray suit. And it was exhibited that she confirmed that was Robert Kelly. Now, when did you start working for Mr. Kelly? She said back in 2021. Was it what was your relationship with Mr. Kelly? She said I was a friend, and then later I became his employee. What was your position? I was a personal assistant. How long did you work for Mr. Kelly? For formally about 8 months. Do you recall when you started working for Mr. Kelly? She said about December 2015. Now, when did you stop working for Mr. Kelly? She said June 2016. Now, did you ever accompany Mr. Kelly on any of his bus trips? She said, I did. And then she went on to say, the question was asked, do you have a nickname that you go by? And she said, yes, Twin. Now, when you first met Mr. Kelly, when was that? She said it was sometime in the late 90s. Now, prior to meeting Mr. Kelly, how did you meet him? She said through a mutual friend. Would you consider yourself a fan? She said yes. Where would you see Mr. Kelly at? His house, studios. Which house in Olympia Field? Did you go to any of his parties? She said yes. Did you see him at the studio? Yes. Which studio? Downtown Chicago, at the studio on Justine Street. Is that the studio on Justine also in Chicago? She said yes. What was your schedule like? She worked 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off. What was your responsibility? Taking care of his daily needs. Did you accompany Robert Kelly on tour? She said, I did. Then they said, well, do you recall which one? And she said, the buffet tour. Did you go to other cities? She said, I did. Now, when you went on the tour with Mr. Kelly, while you were working, did you attend any of his concerts? And she said yes. What was your responsibilities? Well, making sure the guest was seated. Now, showing Exhibit 75. Do you recognize who this is without saying her name? Yes. Do you know her real name? Yes. Is this her true first and last name? Yes, it is. Now, where did you first? We're gonna refer to her as Jane. Where did you first meet Jane at? In New York. Who did you meet Jane through? I met him through Rob. Now, where did you meet her at? It was at a show, the Barclay Center on FaceTime with my sister. Did you see Jane? Yes. What nickname did she have? Niece. How did R. Kelly introduce you? I don't recall how R. Kelly introduced me, but my sister said, Auntie, when was it? She said back in 2015 when you met her. Do you recall where you was that day? I don't recall where I was. Now, pay direct attention to where my hand is pointed. Does it show where you was? Yes. Where were you? In New York. Why were you in New York? For Robert's concert. Where was the concert at? In Brooklyn. Did you go to other places with R. Kelly? Yes. Where did you go? From New York to Washington, D.C.? How did you travel on the Sprinter? Was your sister there? No. Where did your sister go? To the airport. Did your sister go to Washington, D.C.? Yes. What did you observe about Jane? Well, she slept most of the time. Did Jane get off the Sprinter only when she made one particular stop to Best Buy? For what? To purchase a computer for Jane. Who purchased a computer? Rob did. What did Jane call R. Kelly? She called him Daddy. Once you got to Washington, D.C., where did you go? Checked into the hotel, then I flew out the next day. Where did you go? I returned back to LA. Do you live there? Yes. When you traveled to New York to Washington, D.C., did you work there? No. Was Jane a female who lived there? Yes. Exhibit 69B. Do you recognize this person? Yes. Who is this person? That's Dominique. Was Dominique effectively living with R. Kelly when you started working for Rob? Yes. Exhibit 54B. Do you recognize who this is? Yes. Who is this? That's Juice. Did Juice live there when you worked there? Yes. Exhibit 72. Do you recognize this person? Yes. Do you know her nickname? Yes. What is it? V. Was she living there when you worked there? Yes. Exhibit 78. Do you know this person? Yes. Who is this person? That's Joycelyn. When you worked with R. Kelly, what was Joycelyn's relationship? A girlfriend. Was Joycelyn a living girlfriend? No, not immediately. She was transitioning in. What does transitioning mean? She was moving in. She was a girlfriend traveling. What, if any, rules did R. Kelly tell you about? To knock on the doors before entering any rooms, not to talk to any of his girlfriends. Have you met them? Yes. Did you get friendly with any of them? Yes. Now, what was you told? Not to interact with? What did it mean? Don't interact in front of the girls, in front of his girlfriends. Did you interact with any of his girlfriends by phone? Yes. Who did you interact with? Juice. What did they call R. Kelly? Daddy. Did all of them call him Daddy? Yes. When it was just you, what they called him? Mr. Kelly. All of them say Mr. Kelly? Yes. Exhibit 240A. Are these the text messages that you sent on March 2017, March 2016 between you and your twin sister? Then they started to read the text messages. She makes them respect Jane and Rob and call him Daddy. I figure we are her aunts and we are his sisters. And then there was a break for that morning. Elysian Mayweather. Okay, so then that was actually the break for the rest of the day. Then we came back the next day, September the 14th, 2021. Yesterday, you talked about your employment and when you stopped. What did you recall happened when R. Kelly would enter the room? They all would get up to kiss him. How many would get up? All of them. If they needed to go to the restroom, what would happen? A text message when they needed to go. What did you do? I would reach out to R. Kelly. Did you spend time on the Sprinter? Yes. When you needed to go to the restroom, what did you do? I would get up and use the restroom. Did you notice did you notice anything about the girlfriends? They would use cups. Were there cups available? Sometimes. Did you accompany any of them on outings? Yes. Where to? To the malls, nail salons, and to go get massages. What was your role? I didn't have a particular role. If there was a mail, I took care of the transactions. If you needed to inform Mr. Kelly, what would you do? If I needed to keep him aware, I would just text him. Exhibit 240P. Enter into evidence. Any objections? Can it? I just need to see what it is. No objections. Line 205 to 75. Who are these texts from? Me. To who? Rob. Dated October 7th. Exhibit 20547 reads as follows. We're together, going together in the taxi, going back to the hotel, back in the taxi, going back to her room. Do you know who? I don't recall. Do you know if it was a female guest or a girlfriend? Yes. Now, direct your attention to page 10 of the government's exhibit 864 to 409 01. Are those your text messages that you sent to Mr. Kelly on March 27, 2016? Yes. While you was working for Mr. Kelly? Yes. It reads as follows. Headed to the water towers, we left Old Navy, we're headed back. What, if any, rules Mr. Kelly had going to the salon? The person providing services needed to be a female. How did you know that Mr. Kelly mentioned it once? Have you rode in an elevator with any, and what did you observe? If a male got on the elevator, they would face the wall. Any punishments imposed by Mr. Kelly? What do you know, if any? Maybe on the tour bus are left in a room. Who? The girlfriends. Who was responsible for them? R. Kelly. Now, direct your attention to December 27, 2015. The government offers exhibits 240C. No objections. Do you recall this? Where were you that day? I don't recall. Now, take a look at exhibit 240C. Does this refresh in your memory where you were at that day? Yes. Where were you? The studio. Where? On Justine Street. Do you know where Jane was? Yes. Where? In a room on the first level of the studio. December 28, 2015. Who did you send this text message to? My sister. It reads as follows. Niece has been confined in the room. R. Kelly has Juice, V, and Dominique upstairs. He's gone home. Who are you referring to when you say niece? Jane. Now, Juice and Dominique, are they live-in girlfriends? Yes. On December 28, 2015, do you know how long Jane stayed in the room after those text messages? No. Let me see if this refreshes your memory. Do you recall that day? Yes, I do now. Is it fair to say you recall these text messages that day? I do. Now, on Mother's Day 2016, do you recall where you were? No. May I show the witness only Exhibit 240? Does that refresh where you were on 2016 working for Kells? Yes. Any objections? Can it? Can I see the last two documents used to refresh your recollection? No objections. Shown in evidence May 2016, Mother's Day shows a Sunday, May 8th was on. Starting by showing line 876, which is text messages is this? A message you sent? I don't know. And the message reads, I don't know where on here. Now I stayed with her until 9:30 in the morning. She was in the back. I didn't hear her move. She's still there. Something is strange. That text was sent May the 10th, 2016 on a Tuesday, correct? Correct. You wrote you stayed with her Sunday night. What was you referring to? The tour bus. Where was the tour bus? Across the street from the studio. Which studio? On Justine Street. When you said you stayed, who were you referring to? Jane. Where did you stay? On the tour bus. When did you stay with Jane on the tour bus? Objection. Sustained. That means she cannot answer that question. And then it says, do you recall why you was outside the studio? I would have done it because I was asked to do it. By who? Mr. Kelly. Was Jane room in the studio? Yes. Did Jane stay in the studio? Yes. Was there room for Jane to stay if she was allowed to? Yes. Exhibit 240F. A text message you sent May the 10th, 2016 to your sister on a Tuesday, 2 days after Mother's Day, reads as follows. He left the female sitting while we're gone. Rebecca was on the bus. When you said since Saturday, what did you mean? The tour bus. You stayed on the bus with Jane? Yes, the same bus. Who referred to J? That's Juice. What about V? One of the girlfriends. Rebecca, a friend of R. Kelly, a female friend? Yes. Did you ever have a conversation about Juice? Objection. Overruled. Did you have conversations about punishments with Juice when you worked? Yes. What was said? I led the conversation. I asked about Juice on punishment because she hasn't been traveling with us. Where to? The gym. Now, how did R. Kelly respond? I used the word punishment. He used the same word and said punishment. He wasn't the initiator, she was. Exhibit 240. On June 2016, do you recall where you was that day? No. Line 481, 438. Does that refresh your recollection? Yes. So on May 16, 2016 in Chicago. Now, when did you arrive? The morning of the 16th. Where did you travel from? LA. Did you take a red eye? Yes. Where did you go? To the studio on Justine Street? Objection. Exhibit government offers 240Y. Any objections? No. Just need to see what it is. No objections. That's in evidence. Is this a text message on May 16th you sent at 7:30 Chicago time? It says, I got to the studio, Jane, 30 minutes ago on Justine. You relieved Diana. Who do you refer to? The previous assistant? What's her last? Do you know what Diana's last name is? Yes, it's Copeland. How long did you stay on the bus? A few hours. Did you see Jane anymore that day? I don't remember. Showing witness exhibit G. Does this refresh your recollection? Direct your attention to the line 48229 right up there. It reads as follows. Mr. Kelly said, come to the bus. Can I just show the jury only? To pick Jane up, you responded, okay. Who sent that message? Juice. Did you go and pick up Jane? I did. Where did you go after that? The studio on Justine Street. How did Jane appear? I don't recall. Displayed to the public, page 5, government 240G. Is this a text you sent on May 17, 2016? Yes. Who did you send it to? Cash. Who is Cash? Cash Howard. When she gets to Florida, she needs to, and the message goes as follows. When she gets to Florida, she needs to run and never look back. She should be having fun. She looked rough. Her eyes were puffy. You relieved Diana to leave on 5 May 2016. This is another message to Cash was sent the following evening on May 17, 2016. 36 hours after you arrived to Chicago. I may have said it wrong. This message was sent on May 17th. Is that correct? Can you repeat that question? 36 hours after you arrived in Chicago, after relieving Diana Copeland, who was you referring to? Jane. Where it says she looks rough, who are you referring to? Jane. Now, on May 16th, the evening before you sent the message, they're here, and the message reads as follows. They're here, where? The studio in Chicago. Exhibit, last 4 digits ending in 4358. This is a text message sent to Cash Howard. It reads as follows. Something is strange. The punishment is real to the little one. Who is the little one? Jane. Okay, that was the Jane. Now, when you reported on May 16th on the tour bus, whose direction was you acting under? Rob's. Did there come a time you got a phone call? Yes. From who? Dominique. Do you recall when you obtained the phone? No. Oh, she purchased the phone for Dominique. Did she recall when she purchased it? She does not. Now, do you recognize 240H? No. Does this refresh your recollection? Yes. Who was it for? For Dominique. When? June 2016. Here's an exhibit 240. This is an exchange message and it reads as follows. What was the dates? June 12th, June 15th, June 16th, and June 17th. First message sent on June 12th. Did you get your phone prior to leaving working for Mr. Kelly? Yes. Did you and Dominique have a code that you spoke under? Yes. And then it says, send her room number rather than her name. Is that true? Yes. Why? I told her to text me if she needs me in case I was with Rob and he sees my phone. Did R. Kelly ever ask you to take their phone? No, not directly. Now, after she sent the text, did you save her name as Dominique? I don't recall. Let me refresh in your recollection. After looking at the document, does it refresh in your recollection? It does not. When you stopped working around June 2016, what been marked as identification only as Exhibit 240Y? Direct your attention to the last three entries. Can you read them to yourself? See if it refreshes your memory when you stop working for Mr. Kelly. Does this refresh in your memory? Yes. May I have that again? Exhibit 240Y. When did you stop working for Mr. Kelly? June 10th, 2016, or prior to June 10th. Now, when Dominique sent this text message on May the 12th, was that after you left? Yes. I'm sorry, June. He spoke with my sister about it. When were you present? Not for the initial conversation. Who called? My sister. Who was listening to the call? Rob. What did your sister tell you? Was there three people on the call? Was there three people on the call? No. Where was R. Kelly? He was with my sister. Was he on speaker? She called and asked if Rob was with me to see if Dominique had bought a phone. Why did you stop working for Mr. Kelly? It started with a confrontation with Jane. I walked in with a couple of Rob's girlfriends and some who didn't live with him. Jane felt like the mail was too close. Jane raised her voice at me. She told R. Kelly on me. Did you have a conversation with Mr. Kelly? No. She sent him a text message. What was the message? I don't recall that night. We didn't. What made you two girls who didn't live? Objection sustained. So they couldn't even complete the question and she couldn't answer it. Did it contribute to you leaving? Yes. Since June 10, 2016, have you seen R. Kelly? Only on FaceTime. Who was on FaceTime? Rob and my sister. She didn't realize she was on FaceTime. Besides FaceTime, have you seen Mr. Kelly since? No. Have you spoke to Mr. Kelly? No. Did you have any other conversations? It was just hi, love you, miss you. No further questions. Canning time. So, Elysian, okay, so we know he says, good morning, good morning. You had a role in surviving R. Kelly. Somewhat. When you say somewhat, what do you mean? I was the story advisor. You helped put together the narrative. No, they consulted with me. Same thing. It was a fiction. I wouldn't say fiction. When did Surviving R. Kelly come out? I don't recall the dates. Someone said X, Y, and Z. Is this true? You did, and then there was a pause, and then the judge said, "Can I just see the parties at the sidebar, please?" There was another objection. Sustained. You testified you worked for Mr. Kelly. Yes, I did. When was you employed? 2015. You worked until 2016, 6 months. In essence, you formed an opinion on what you saw. No. You sent text messages back in September 2015. I'm not sure. That was 2015. I recall when you sent them. No. You was his previous recording observation. You was there previously observating, recording an observation. Yes. You was gossiping. I had a conversation with my sister. Judge, want to be the judge. This is the judge. I wanted to be clear up the word gossip. Okay, we can use the word gossiping. That's fine. Before working for Mr. Kelly, you was a probation officer, a parole officer. Yes. Were you ever arrested? Never arrested. Did you attend any concert? Yes. A number of concerts? Yes. You received a back pass for meetings, meet and greets? There was many times. You went backstage? Yes. With friends and people who worked for him? I don't recall. How old were you? I don't recall. I was an adult. Was you 18? Older? Not 25. It was over 20 years ago, definitely in my 20s. How did you dress? Objection sustained. So she can't answer the question how she was dressed. You wasn't dressing revealing. You wasn't dressing in revealing clothes. No. Was you dressed in revealing clothes? Did you see other women at the meet and greet? Yes, a large crowd, in fact. Lots of women, correct? I didn't pay attention to the women, honestly. At some point in time, you worked for Mr. Kelly in his home. You went to parties. I went to more than one. You went to parties. Yes. The first party you went to, did you go with Romina? And forgive me if I'm saying her name wrong. You saw a number of people. It was a small crowd. You saw women in the crowd. None were underage. No. You went with Nisi. You was almost denied entry. No. Because Nisi was taking pictures of stars. Being denied? No. Now, you was at the party with Nisi. You didn't see underage girls. No. A male came and knocked on the door. No, I don't recall. A male turned his head to make eye contact. You brought musicians to Mr. Kelly for an audition. It wasn't an audition, it was to provide music for her. See how people was bringing people around to try to get opportunities. Now, did he said he was going to provide uh, music. How was that? And how old was she? At least in her 30s or her 40s. That was someone you was working with from Houston that didn't want to work with. R. Kelly didn't want to work with. No, you didn't want to work with because she was a lazy artist. Objection overruled. Was she? He never said that. The situations never worked out. Correct? Correct. What about Kimbala or Kimbella? I'm hoping I'm saying her name wrong, but it's something Kim. No. Did you bring Kim to him? No. Did you know if she worked with him? She did. My sister and I introduced her music to him by the music director. Same thing, right? Was it Mr. Kelly? I was. It wasn't Mr. Kelly. No. Who made the introduction? It was the music director. Did you ever see him with underage girls? No. Were you on the tour bus? Yes. Do you recall when Jane graduated? I think in 2016. Were you aware that Jane had work requirements to graduate? Objection. Overruled. The judge says, did she? I'm not sure about schoolwork, but yes. Jane was on the bus to finish her schoolwork. Objection. Then the judge says, let him finish the question. Jane was on the bus to finish her schoolwork. I thought it was perfect. And then Koenig said, well, they objected it. And Koenig said, I thought it was perfect, Judge. And then the judge said, sometimes we disagree. And Koenig said, many times. Your sister was on the bus with Jane to finish her schoolwork. I'm not sure. She testified she objection sustained. I asked a short while ago, you was almost denied getting into the party. Yes. Now, Nisi was starstruck. I don't recall. Let me show you this documentation. See if this refreshes your recollection. Prosecutors, what documents are you showing her? I believe the section is highlighted. Okay, I read it. Does this refresh your recollection what you told the government about the party you attended? No, it doesn't. No, you was the one in the meeting with the government, right? It says Mayweather. I don't believe it was me. Now they're trying to play that twin sister syndrome. You gotta love canning time, y'all. It's canning time. You weren't interviewed. You was interviewed, yes. How many times? Was the first time before surviving R. Kelly? No. After surviving R. Kelly, were you paid? In fact, how much were you paid? I don't recall the amount. About how much? $3,000. So you made the calls. I did. I'm going to show you this documentation. Do you recall March the 6th, 2019? Look at the documentation that of that day. It says March 6th. I don't recall. This is not your sister. That would be correct. Now, having looked at the documentation, wasn't you sure if it was you or your sister name looked at the page? I see if it was your sister who gave the interview with the government, it has my name. It says you was the person who said Nisi being starstruck. that's what you told the government. That's not what I said. So the government got it wrong? I asked you earlier about Kim and R. Kelly. Are you familiar? How about Percy Braid? And I may be saying his last name wrong, so please don't quote me. No, not by that name you called. In 1996, you and your sister asked that he request R. Kelly to audition. Percy baited. We did not ask for an interview. No, his name is, and then she made the correction. And then Candy said, whatever the person's name is, no, that's not what I said. What words did you use? I may have told them what I told you. Percy was so impressed. Is it a fact that you told the government he asked R. Kelly if he would interview with Mr. Kelly? I don't recall. I'll show you the document. I'll show you the documents. On this paragraph, I see it. It's in there. It's in there in the interview. That's not what I said. When Jane graduated, were you there? No. How about your sister? No. So you nor your sister was there. Do you know what month or year she graduated? I don't recall the month. The year was 2016. You testified you don't know why Jane was on the bus. You didn't have a talk with Mr. Kelly, did you? Was it a tour bus? Was it a luxury bus? Not in my opinion. There was a bathroom, a bed, a bunk bed, a refrigerator, a microwave, but it's not a luxury, huh? Not in my opinion. R. Kelly would be out on the bus for long times. Is that correct? Yes. From the East Coast to the West Coast, yes. There was no bathroom in sight, correct? Correct. No phone service, correct. You said people was urinating in cups on long stretches, not in my presence. How many trips did you attend? It was numbers. I don't recall. How many times you saw them urinate in cups? I said I never saw it. I heard they did. Now we're going off the hearsay. How did you hear about it? How you know they were urinating in cups? I didn't see it. They had the cups, and they would expose of them. Who did you see exposing them? His girlfriends. Which ones? All of them. When you would get off the bus, did you ever see the cup? Did you ever smell the cup? I knew they was using the cups to urinate in them, but you never smelled it. You never touched it. Did you? Oh God! See, I'm trying to be so serious, y'all, and Lord knows it just takes me there. God. But you never smelled it. You never touched it. Did you tell surviving R. Kelly in Lifetime as well? No. How many cross-country trips did you take with Mr. Kelly? From the East Coast to the West Coast? A couple of trips. When you had to use the bathroom, did you hold it? I did. When you first started hanging with Mr. Kelly on the road trips, you wasn't working for Mr. Kelly, was you? No, she wasn't. Mr. Kelly paid for your airfare. Did he pay for your hotel? He paid for your meals too. He did. Did you ever see Mr. Kelly hit a girlfriend? Did you ever see him deny bathroom or food? No. Did you ever see Mr. Kelly at the properties he stayed in? Did he deny them food or water? No. But you see Mr. Kelly lavish them with gifts. What kind of stores did they shop at? Nordstrom's, Saks Fifth, brand stores, the Gap, whatever stores. Did you handle their money? No. You gave money to the cashiers Only if it was a male. They all went right, correct. When Rob was in the when Rob was in the room, when Rob would come in the room and they would kiss him, did he kiss them back? Uh, he stood up when they came in the room. He would open doors for them. I don't recall. When you were there, was Jane around? Did you see her on the phone with her parents, with her dad more than her mom? Did you hear both sides of the conversations? You told She was unsure. You told the government they were happy conversations. I don't recall saying happy. Her brother came to Chicago. Uh, R. Kelly paid for her mother in hotels only. One hotel, she said he did. You had a verbal altercation with Jane. Yes. As you were going escorting, you were being escorted in the arena with Mr. Kelly's girlfriends. No, we were actually, no, they asked her, were you escorting Mr. Kelly's girlfriends in the arena? And she said, no, we were actually escorted in. Something happened with the security. Uh, he had the groups, we had the group, his girlfriends on the side of he wanted a group where they had a group area, kind of like a partition, where he wanted the girls to be on the stage area. I asked you if you were escorting Mr. Kelly's girlfriend. You said you were not escorting. When you met with the government, I like to refresh your memory. Let me see if this refreshes your memory. The highlighted portion. See if this refreshes your recollection. Have you read it? You told the government it does not. She said he said you told the government this. It doesn't refresh your recollection. She said it doesn't, but it is in there, correct? Do you recall the government? She said I wasn't paying attention to anyone on the inside. So as you was escorted, a security accidentally bumped into Jane. After he took us to a certain part, I wanted to stand in. As far as an employee bumping her, I don't recall. Isn't it a fact you told the government that a security guard bumped into Jane? I don't recall, but it is in the document, right? It's there. Jane got belligerent. I saw it. Uh, Jane got belligerent. I saw it would say in the document is the document. It is in the document, but is that not correct? What had happened? As we were coming, someone needed to let us in. Jane felt like he was standing too close to us. How? Jane said it was he was standing where we were. He stood opposite. I don't think Jane was close to him at all. If he was facing the front, how would it look for describe it? She said, well, if he was facing the front, she would be have her back. So she would be face the front to his back. He was not near her. After that, what happened? I told him to open up the gate to let us in. Did he open up the gate? Yes. She raised her voice. I told her, don't raise your voice to me. So her voice was elevated. She got in your face? No, she did not get in my face. Did you point this out to Mr. Kelly? No, I did not. No, we stopped talking because she started texting him. What did you do? I started texting too. Now, who did you text? I text Rob. I told her not to yell at me. How did it last? How long did it last? A couple of minutes. After the show, you felt Jane disrespected you. I felt that way. Is that why you quit? Jane Juice and two of Mr. Kelly's girlfriends. You told Mr. Kelly I felt Mr. Kelly should have had an adult conversation with me. Then what? He said he only believed them, the girls. But you didn't say that. That's what I should have said, is what she was trying to fix on the stand. And Candace said, I know it should have been now, right? Okay. You said Mr. Kelly said, whatever my girlfriend said happened, that's what happened. Two girlfriends had a conversation with me. They said whatever his girlfriend said was it is what it is. He said that he was loyal to them. Is that what they said? No. You quit Mr. Kelly's you quit. Mr. Kelly offered you your job back. He told my sister. So when Mr. Kelly offered you your job back, he hired you to help with summer. So he hired you as an executive assistant. I wouldn't call it an executive assistant, more like a personal assistant. I didn't do anything executive. You were hired to take care of his girlfriends. No. You were hired to take care of Mr. Kelly. Yes. You took care of Summer. That was a part of the conversation to be hired, but you didn't take care of that. You refused the job offer. Mr. Kelly did not try to contact you further. Did he? That's correct. Did Mr. Kelly pay for your airfare? Remember that? Okay, I'm going to show you a documentation. See if you told the government Mr. Kelly paid for your airfare. Showing this documentation. Before you started working for Mr. Kelly, he paid for your airfare, he paid for your food, he paid for your hotel. Yes. And then we went on a recess, and then we came back from the recess. Now, if you recall telling the government that Jane's conversation with her parents, they were happy conversations, I don't recall using the word happy. I'm going to show you the documentation from the government. What page? The government wanted to know what page, and then Candy said page 13 through 34. Uh, did you read it? I did. Does it refresh in your recollection? You told the government. I see it on the paper. It is there. It is, but she didn't recall. Now, during the 6 months you worked for Mr. Kelly, did he ask you to deny anyone food, water, the freedom to move around? Did he ask you to recruit any women for him? No, he did not. And that rested Canick's case. There was a redirect from the government. Was when you met Jane, she was 17. She was, but I didn't know she was 17. Objection overruled. Was she 17? She was 17. You were asked if you ever saw him at any of his guests or with any of his guests or girlfriends. You recall that question? I do. Was he ever alone with them? Yes. Can you say what happened? No. How about on the tour bus with Jane and Mr. Kelly? Yes. In the back room of the tour bus? Objection. That's beyond the scope. Objection overruled. Did you hear anything that was consistent with a hit or a spanking? She said a lick. What did you mean a lick? Where was Mr. Kelly in the bedroom? Where was you in the area where the couch on the tour bus was? Who was in the room with Mr. Kelly? Jane. What was the reason you was told? Can you repeat the question? What was the reason you was told? What did you believe she was on the tour bus for? Objection sustained. She can't answer that question. You were asked whether the case Jane was having worked. Do you recall that the question? I do. Doing high school work was high school. She wasn't sure. Was there a time Juice was on punishment? Yes. Was punishment your word? Yes. Did Mr. Kelly use the word punishment first? No, he did not. After I used the word punishment first, then he used it. Jane was doing homework. Was there a place in the studio where she could have done her homework, a room for her laptop? Is it fair to say someone could do work in the studio? Yes. You recall when you were going shopping? Yes. When they were on punishment, did they go shopping? No. You were asked about quit working for Mr. Kelly, and your sister communicated the offer for you to come back. What was the terms of your return? 6 months with no pay. You were asked about events in the late 1990s before you started working for Mr. Kelly. Before you started working on the first 10 years or of the 2000s, did you know who Niecy is? Yes. It's not Jane, is it? No. Was it an incident about taking photographs? I believe she snapped a photo of a banner in front of his house. Then what happened? He told her she couldn't take a photo. Did you go into the party? Yes. You were shown statements that you were shown statements of the meeting with the government prior to today. Did you write those reports? No. Did you check them for accuracy? No. Exhibit 3500 MA 1-1 page 2. Did you see what was written in the paragraph where my pen is? Yes. These reports are not verbatim, are they? No. Is it fair to say it doesn't memorize all of the statements that were made? And she said yes. So you were asked about the times you were escorting the girlfriends in. Was your job to provide security to the live-in girlfriends or guests? No. Did Mr. Kelly employ other securities for him? For him, yes. How about for his girlfriends? No. By the way, you were asked rather the defendant if Mr. Kelly would stand up when the females walked into the room. No. How about for you? No. No further questions. Canic wants to go back on cross. Now, you were asked about being at Mr. Kelly's party. You had to check ID. Yes, that was a role for security now, wasn't it? I don't think they checked ID at every party. He had staff, though. I can't say they didn't. I can't say not. Behind closed doors, you don't know what happened. Mr. Kelly never hit anyone. I said lick. Did you hear any screams, any bubbling noises? No. You never saw an underage female. You never saw Mr. Kelly hitting anyone. When Jane was on the bus, you don't know why she was on the bus. Correct. There is a recording going on in the studio where they're making music and there's loud noise being made. There's no recording or loud music on the tour bus. Correct. Mechanic, done after that. The government redirect from the government, and they wanted to come back and ask. So in the recording studio, is it soundproof? And then she said, in the recording area, yes. And then they rested their case. They were done with Mayweather. Just to elaborate a little bit before I get into the next government witness, I want to just get in the comment with you guys and just kind of interact a little bit on your thoughts of what I just read to you guys. My perspective of it is that she was trying to be a government witness, but when asked on cross about why Jane was in the tour bus, and when they tried to go back and forth about the sounds that's being made in the studio versus the sounds that's not on the tour, it makes all the sense in the world. She was still on the tour bus. They had her in that particular area because it was quiet. She can get her work done rather than her being in the studio where all the noise is being made, whether it's soundproof or not. It's a lot of movement going on in the studio. That's just what I got from it. But you guys can formulate your own opinions in the comment section and at the end of this live. If you don't catch this live while it's streaming, you can always put your comment in at the end of this broadcast. And so we're going to get over to the next government witness. The next government witness, his name is Nicholas. So where did you grow up? In Springfield, Illinois. What kind of work did you do? Production, devices. What about school? How far did you go? He got an associate's degree, electric engineering. And then they said associates where at? Full Sail University. And I could be wrong about the pronunciation of that word, so please don't quote me. Where was this located at? Water Park, Florida. And what did you take there? Audio engineering. Now, I also played drums as a kid. Now, after Full Sail University, did you work? I did. Where? I started at Chicago Tracks in Chicago. What's Chicago Tracks? It's a studio. When did you start? April 2003, around May or June. Do you recall the address? Yes, 855 North Philburg Street in Chicago. And I might be saying the word Philburg wrong, so don't quote me on that either. You obtained the job in May or June 2003. You started? Yes. How long did you work? For 1 year. How old were you? I would have been around 19 years old. Exhibit 30. Showing the jury and the public. Do you recall this photo? Unfortunately, I do. It was a very embarrassing picture of myself. When you was working, did you know who you would be working for? Tom Arnold. I didn't know, but Tom Arnold, the conversation, the instructions was, my job was to do whatever he wanted. Did you know who Rob was? I didn't. I Googled and found out he was a R&B artist. Was you excited about the position? I was. What did you expect at the Chicago's track studio what was different? Mr. Kelly ended up purchasing the studio. You mentioned Tom Arnold. Here's an exhibit. Do you recognize who this is? I do. Who is this? That's Tom Arnold. A government exhibits. One. Do you recognize this person? I do. Who is this person? That's Robert Kelly. Sometimes you worked. Did you meet him early on? I interacted with him daily. Can you see him in the courtroom? It's difficult with the face mask on. Can he please lower it? Yes, that's him. When you first worked at the studio, what did you sign? A non disclosure agreement. Who presented the NDA? Tom Arnold did. What did you know about what an NDA was? Like most NDA agreements, what you see, do not discuss in the walls or out in the public, not to talk about it with the friends or the family, and so on. So you was excited. What changed? It was uncomfortable. It felt like a hostile environment. I thought I could use equipment. You was an intern though. You paid? No. So you was an unpaid intern. What was your responsibilities? Basic cleaning, upper and downstairs, bedrooms, bathrooms, general stuff. A request came in from Rob after 3 months. You were promoted to security at the front desk. Were you paid? Yes. How much were you paid? $6 an hour. How long did you work? A total of 12 months. What shifts did you have? 12 to 10 the following day. Someone who was to replace someone was there to replace you. Would they come late? It could be a 14-hour shift that turned into a 16-hour shift. How did you clock in? There was a timesheet manual on the wall. Was the timesheet for payment? Correct. When you got paid, what was it paid? What was you paid by? A check. Yes. Who issued you the check? Base Productions. Who worked the day? Who worked the day shift? Black Chaplin. Excuse me for not saying his name correct. Government exhibits. Do you recognize this person? Yes. Who is this person? That's Blake Chaplin. Did you ever meet others? I did. Who? Mr. Donnie Lau. Who is this? Who is this? Do you recognize this person? Yes, I do. Who is that? Mr. Donnie Lau. Now, what did he do for Mr. Kelly? He was his business manager for Mr. Kelly. Did you meet anyone else? Yes. Who did you meet? Also, Big Johnny. Government exhibits. Do you recognize who this is? Yes. Who is this? That's Big Johnny. Do you know his full name? I do not. Government Exhibits 49. Do you recognize who this is? I believe I do. Who is this? It's an engineer. His name is Ian. He was a primary engineer. Do you recognize this person? Yes. Who is this? That's Abel Giravandes. And excuse me for saying his name correct either, so don't quote me. What did he do? He was an engineer also for Rob. Recognize this person? I do recognize this person. I believe he was one of the assistant engineers. Do you know his name? I think it's Jeff. What was your responsibility? To answer the phone? Yes. How many phones? There was 4 lines. Were there phones in other parts of the studio? Yes. Where? Tom's office, 2 or 3 were spread out the hallways. Occasional rooms had phones as well. What other types of rooms? There was a large warehouse with a garage access with telephones, awaiting room up front, small lounge for artists, upstairs 4 or 5 to the studio. The rest was turned into others. Now, Tom Arnold office on the first floor next to the security area on shift. Did anyone use the phone? Occasionally, Rob. The responsibilities. What was your responsibility? To write down the names of the individuals once they who called in. He would write down the names of the individuals. Once he writes it down, he would go into the studio, and then he would, pass on along the message. He would have to step into the studio without looking at anyone. Then what would you do? Rob, what would Rob do? Yeah, man, I got it. Or he would say, yeah, man, I got it. Or I'm not here, or sorry, I can't find them, is what he would relay the message back to the people. So just to be clear, you testified individuals would call the studio. Correct. Did calls come from outside? Yes. Did calls come from inside the studio? Yes. From females trying to reach Mr. Kelly? Yes. So females who just visited, were they were where would they go? They will be waiting in the lounge to get in contact with Mr. Kelly. So answering calls, were there a four-digit extension, the last four digits of the phone number? If someone would call, the last four digits would light up. If it came from inside the studio, you would select a four digit. It would tell you what room they were in. Did you receive calls from both inside and outside from females looking to speak to Mr. Kelly? To me, they was focusing too much on females rather than just everybody was calling in, and they were just trying to actually like just point out just females when everybody called in that line. But anyway, working at the receptionist desk, can you describe the exterior on North Laburn Street? And forgive me, don't quote me on the name of that street. If you're facing the street primarily on the left, there was a chain in front of the main street. There was a roll-up garage door. When you pull up there was a keypad. Someone could call into me. The main entrance to the left facing the side, there were stairways up to go to upstairs. Exhibit 525C. Is this the keypad to call in? Yes. Is this the fence with the automatic gate? Yes. 525B below. Is this the keypad? Yes, it is. 525. Is this the main first floor of the building? 525. What do you see here? A garage, but it looks different from when I was employed. Now, what kind of visitors will come? Other professional musicians, actors, personal trainers, personal R. Kelly's entourage, employees, female guests. He would invite after shows. Now, how the hell you know he was inviting people after the shows? You know what I'm saying? This is how they was just throwing it out here. But anyway, then they said, well, how did, people would get in contact? He said, well, the process was similar to just writing down individual names, get a four-digit code, and run it up to Rob. Once inside, what would you do? I felt like a buzzer to let them in to the front door. Was there another entrance? There was, but not where Rob would park his vehicle. He would enter into the garage. There was an elevator to the second floor of the building. Were there cameras? Yes. Were they in front? Where were the cameras? In front, the main entrance, the hallways facing the door, and down the hallways. Did you see guests? Yes. They was very young. How old was you? 19 years old. Did anyone stay overnight on a regular? How long did they stay? They would stay from Friday to Sunday. Were there rules that you were aware of? Rules was not allowed to interact, couldn't interact in the room, no extra conversations with the guests. Who directions was this? Rob. Did you follow them? I would. Did you escort them to various places in the studio as described? You previously testified to the guests when you would get the call, would they request for food? Rarely got requests for food. If Rob was already in the studio, yes, then what would you do? Find Rob, ask how to proceed. You would get the calls if Rob wasn't available. He said the scenario is not aware to him, so he's not familiar with what he would do if Rob wasn't there because he never had one of those issues. Now, I do not know what would happen if Rob wasn't in the building. Did you communicate this? Can you clarify the question? Because I don't know. I don't know what I would have done if Rob wasn't in the building. Once Donnie Lau and Big Johnny, it wasn't my responsibility, but they would bring food. If you couldn't get a hold of Donnie Lau or Big Johnny, if they wasn't in the building, you see where they was going with this, trying to find out if nobody was around, what would happen? He said, I don't recall if they wasn't around. What would you do when food arrived? I would deliver it. Or if a door was cracked, I would hand it. Or Rob, Johnny or Big Johnny, Donnie Lau would deliver it themselves. Why would you leave? Why would you leave any of the food? There was very little interactions. How did the interact? They wouldn't. No females appear. They wouldn't see. They seen would take the food and close the door. Was the females able around freely? No. How about the male guests? Yes. Unless it was a blackout upstairs for nights, then nobody could move around. But anybody in the air in the blackout area, nobody. If Donnie or Big Johnny could be in the area, or it was off limits, who could be in the area? If it was a blackout, Donnie, Big Johnny would once be in the black area. If it was one, it couldn't, and no one. I couldn't go upstairs. If a female would move from one location of the studio to an objection, and that was sustained, he can't answer that question. Now, Donnie Lau and Big Johnny, would you interact with any females moving through the studio? Not at all. For employees, where would you be? Objection. Overruled. If movements was upstairs, movements by female guests, correct. Did the room have a bathroom in it? No, I don't believe so. If they could talk to Rob, let me retract that. I don't know. Did you get calls for food? Occasionally, calls for the bathroom. Did you ever get a bathroom call from a female guest who needed to go to the bathroom? I was never allowed to escort anyone. How any females? How did you communicate? The same as with food. How did you communicate? I would get permission from Rob. I would take a note up or get permission. Was there any restroom in the studio? I remember the bathroom on the second floor. Did it have a shower in it at the end of the? And it had a shower in it at the end of the hallway. You said they couldn't move around freely. Since they wasn't allowed to move around, objection sustained. Individual employees, female, was they escorted to leave? Objection overruled. Individual employees, was any of the females escorted when they left? Yes. Are you objecting? Now she want to act like, are you objecting this? It's over anyway. Now, that was the judge. So, did you hear anything after a female was in the room with the guest? The walls are soundproof, but I did hear sex and yelling. Was Mr. Kelly married? Yes. Was entire time, was it a female guest there when his wife was there? Well, his wife had her own personal assistant, and she would call in advance. What would you do? I would give him the message as soon as I could. She had a code name. What was the code name? Important. I would find out where Mr. Kelly was, give him the message. Why? It was to alert him so no young female guests in the hallways, so he could meet with his wife. Now, what did you recall about the lightings? It was rare. There was 1 or 2 Christmas lights in every room. LED lantern with the remote. Who had the remote? Rob did. He would activate the lights before coming into the room. The Christmas lights is in the front door of the bedroom. The office could any doors be locked? Then the next question was, any doors be locked from the outside? Other rooms, I can't recall because of the times you can't recall if there was locks. Objection sustained. He can't answer that either. How long did you work for Mr. Kelly? 1 year. So from when? From May or June until 2003 to 2004. Sorry about that. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb because I think that's just rude when I'm live, y'all. Okay, let me see. Wait, Do Not Disturb. Okay, here we go. We're good. All right. Objection sustained. How long did you work for Mr. Kelly? 1 year. From what dates? From May 2003 or June until 2004. Why did you stop working for Mr. Kelly? It became clear I wanted a career in the industry. Did you get one? No. None. It never happened. I never touched a piece of equipment. He was angry all the time. I finally had an opportunity to look him in his eye. Objection. Sidebar. They had to control their hostile witness because he was about to go in about he was there because he finally got a chance to face R. Kelly after all these years. He felt like R. Kelly ruined his career. He didn't have a chance to get his career off the ground. So this was a very, to me, hostile witness. Okay, that's my own personal opinion. Now, after the sidebar, then they was about to ask a question. He immediately said, "Can I say something?" And everybody said, "No, you cannot," including the judge. And then the judge said, "Wait until you're asked the question." And then the next question came in. After you stopped working for Mr. Kelly, the building was demolished. Shortly after that, Mr. Kelly left, and then that was it. Canic time. Y'all ready for Canic time? Is y'all ready for Canic time or not? Put a one in the chat if you ready for Canic. So I need to continue with this live. What should I do? I mean, I'm just saying, I'm bringing it to you guys. This is a special live. This is a special coverage from yours truly, Hollywood Next, a.k.a. Sexy Pieces, a.k.a. Sexy Next. I just want to make sure I'm bringing my A game to this commentary, because usually I bring it all to you guys right after court before I can even review my notes and, look at everything, cross my eyes. So today, hey, baby, I'm here for y'all. I am here for y'all. I am bringing it to you guys word for word as best as I was able to get each note that I got. So if I miss a few things, don't quote me on it. Don't fault me for it, and don't hold it against me, okay? I'm just giving you everything I was able to personally write down myself, okay? And so we're almost done with this witness, and then there's some other content that I didn't get a chance to fully review, but I'm still going to give it to you guys because you guys are so patient enough to wait for me to bring it to y'all, okay? And I think those notes are really clear for me to be able to read off of. Now, okay, so this is the cross-examination from Canning. In the building, when the building was demolished, did you see it? No, he said the building was demolished, correct? He said yes. When did you see the building in that state? He said, I didn't see it. Okay, you talked about blackouts. Can you repeat the question? Why everybody all of a sudden can't hear? I just want to know why people can't hear. Can y'all help me to understand why when Candy get on the defense, nobody can hear my guy? Like, shout out to mechanic. Shout out mechanic. All right, come on, we'll get silly later. Let's get this content out the way. I know you guys have been patiently waiting, and I'm bringing it to you guys, okay? Now, he said he didn't see it. So you talked about blackouts. Can you repeat the question, please? You talked about the blackouts. What was a blackout? How do you know, and who was moving upstairs? I do not know the movements upstairs. And you didn't know what was going on upstairs. No, I do not know. Okay, you worked as a receptionist, correct? And an intern, correct? In 3 months, you were offered a job. You got minimum wage, $6. I believe minimum wage, this is him responding. I believe minimum wage was $6.50. But you accepted the offer, yes. Did you have any exchange on a regular basis? You were never offered a job, correct. You never got a chance to handle the equipment, correct. You told the jury Mr. Kelly's guests could move around freely. None of them could move around freely. Actors were able to. You talked about A-list was his friends. You testified other visitors was the trainer, yes. Where was the trainer? Mostly in the trainer room. You interacted with only if you interacted with the trainer only if you went to deliver a message. Your job was to stay at the desk. No, that's not true, dude. You know you had to sit at the desk. You know you couldn't get up. Candy gonna get you right. I'm telling you, you need a tune up. You better go check out Candy. All right, y'all. No, were you allowed to go upstairs? He said sometimes. Did you knock on doors? He said I did not. He said he did knock on doors. He said I did not go from room to room. Did you knock on the trainer's door? He claimed the trainer door was open. Any other rooms you see? Did you knock on the door? And then he said, so if the door was closed, did you knock on Tom, the manager's door? His door was directly next to the receptionist's desk. Did you walk in his door in his office? He said yes. Did you get food for Mr. Kelly if an artist requested it? Did you get it? Yes. A record label? Did you get food? Yes. He said, Diddy said, I don't recall about a record label, but you recall actresses. Were you able to move around other artists freely? He claimed he could. Did you interact with artists? He said, yes. He said, which ones? He said, Tyrese, B2K, Beyonce at one point, Sylvester Stallone, Cash Money. I interacted with them all. He said, your interactions was, good morning. I guess he interacted with everybody. If you said good morning, hell yeah. God, Lord have mercy. He said he interacted with all of them. And Mr. Kelly said, your interaction was good morning. He said, and he was talking to him. He said, I'm not asking you about talking. I'm asking about interacting. He said, yes. Now, how often did you see Mr. Kelly? He said, I could not see him for days or 5-10 times a night. Well, what time did you see him, Kelly? But Kelly, I can't ask why he's doing these people like this because they deserve everything they got coming and more, okay? He said about 10 to 2 o'clock in the morning or some occasionally noon, artists like to, he said, artists like to record at nighttime. No, wait, I'm sorry. Let me go back to the question. Isn't that, he said, what time did you see R. Kelly? He said, sometimes he wouldn't see him for days. Then sometimes it would be 5 to 10 times in the night. And then he said, what time would you see R. Kelly? He said from 10 p.m. to 2. He said, isn't that the time Mr. Kelly will play basketball every night? Objection! Rule, is that the time he played basketball? We all know this. If you've been following this platform, if you've been knowing about a little bit of R. Kelly, you know that man played basketball at nighttime till about 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Dumbass witnesses. Anyway, okay, so he said, so isn't that the time Mr. Kelly will play basketball? Objection, overruled. Well, the judge said, well, is it the time? He said, I don't know. Do you know where he would play basketball? No. Do you know who he would play with? No. He said, name one person R. Kelly went with. I believe he played with Junebug. He went with Junebug. Can somebody put in the chat who would accompany R. Kelly when he go play basketball? That's a quiz for y'all. Who would go with Mr. Kelly when he would go to the basketball? Please, somebody in the chat say his girlfriends. Please put his girlfriends in there. We all know it's with the ladies. He ain't went with no niggas. I'm just saying. Come on, man. They need to stop. Oh my God, this witness is just over and done. Now, do you know what time he will come in? I don't know. I didn't keep track. I don't know. There was no normal time. Generally, Big Johnny went everywhere with him. I don't know who. I know he went with entertainers he would meet. Isn't it a fact that he would have his living girlfriends there? I don't know. He broke him down to size, y'all. Shout out to the McKenna. He played basketball every night. His living girlfriends went with him. You wanted to be an engineer. It didn't work out for you, did it? No. Canick rests his case. Now the prosecutors want to come back on cross. Now, after working for Mr. Kelly, did you work with anybody else? No. After leaving, you ended up moving to, and I didn't get the name where, so I can't tell y'all where. How often did you see Mr. Kelly? How often did you deliver if he was food, if he was not in the building? A number of times on my shift. So from the receptionist, what route would you take? Most of the travels were through hallways. That's all y'all came back with? Y'all could have left that off the table and let Canick have his attack. Canick on attack. Shout out to Mechanic. And they rest their case with that particular witness. And then I'll go to put this book away because this is what was specially done for you guys. I hope you guys just appreciate these notes that I prepared for y'all. Now these are unprepared notes, but the writing is still clear enough where I didn't have to go over anything. So I'm gonna read these as follow. There was a stipulation that was put in place um, by somebody named Patchy, and which was an assistant, a manager from Chicago, O'Hara, Rosemont Sheraton Hotel, Rosemont, 1994. Then they exhibited 1001. It was an agreement about certain evidence. Then there was another 1003 stipulation signed 2004. The phone number at that time was 800-433-7300. And that has been a number to make, that has number been around since 2000. And they have an exhibit 203-4, and then there's another 5225. That's from the American Airlines, and that was a stipulation. Then there was a sidebar. They didn't want no court over for that sidebar, and that pretty much concluded that particular stipulation. Then there was a stipulation, if called, was from Richard Ray. Now, he met Stephanie in 1999. Before Stephanie's birthday, he met her. She was almost 18. They met at a pizzeria. After they met, Stephanie told him she was in a relationship. She went with She went with for the birth after. Okay, so she went with R. Kelly, and then after she ended her relationship with R. Kelly, she started dating Richard Ray. Okay, Richard Ray and Stephanie started dating. Stephanie told Richard that on 2 or 3 occasions, R. Kelly had video recorded. He had video recorded her. They asked where this was located at. They said Lincoln Park. She told Richard that she had sex with other people. Okay. Then there was a 1009 stipulation by Jerry Ortez. That was the end of Richard Ray's stipulation. It was just a very short stipulation to try to patch together Stephanie's encounters with R. Kelly and what was allegedly told to Richard Ray by Stephanie. Now, somebody sent me a message and asked, is Stephanie deceased? I cannot confirm she is deceased, but what I will do is find out, and then I'll let you guys know. So just keep your eyes on my community post area. So if she is deceased, I will come back at a later time and let you guys know that I will confirm or not confirm if she is or she isn't. Okay. There was another stipulation by Jerry Ortiz, which was back June 1983. Ortiz met Sonia, okay, in junior high school, Salt Lake City, Utah. They spent almost every day together. This is a stipulation. It's kind of like a letter that's written by these individuals. Rather than them coming in to testify, they just wrote it out and they put it in a stipulation to have them presented rather than them come and be here in New York for the trial. So they met in the late teens, early 20s. She was visiting. She worked hard. She was telling about her about Sonia. She was visiting Sonia at work. She worked hard. She appeared on air back in 2003. They met R. Kelly at the Valley Fair Mall. And then there was a tour bus. She said it was near the back of the mall. Sonia was an inspiring DJ at a local radio station. She said R. Kelly, she said she talked to him, his personal assistant, that she gave them a copy of a photo to the government 203, and it said Sonia Ortiz, August 12, 2003. And then there was so Ortiz was, okay, so there was a photo that they presented. Let me go back. So in the government's exhibit 203, there was a photo of Sonia and then Ortiz and R. Kelly, okay? And in the center from left was Ortiz, and from the left and to the right was Sonia, and in the middle was R. Kelly. And then they 203 exhibit was admitted into evidence. Now, sometime later, she was invited to come to Chicago while Sonia was in Chicago. Excuse me. While Sonia was in Chicago, she was in a room and she said that she couldn't. Uh, that she was put in a room. Sonia was in a room and she couldn't leave. Okay, Sonia was in a room and she couldn't leave. She said she only saw R. Kelly for a brief for a brief moment. Sonia did not. She said she didn't talk to him anymore. She said it was a horrible experience. And then Ortiz said the last time she had communicated with Sonia was around 2008, 2009, or even 2010. I think they had a really bad falling out. From what I gather, being in the courtroom, it sounds like they had a really bad falling out, and she was not trying to hype up the situation. But she said she had not spoke to Sonia, and then they asked 2003 to 2004. Others lived, and then that was pretty much it. It was really short and sweet. Whoever Ortiz was did not want to give too much information, so she just said that Sonia said she had a horrible experience, and that was pretty much it. She ain't talked to her, she ain't seen her since 2008, 2009, or maybe even 2010, and that was the end of her stipulation. Then there was another person named Jerry Ortez. They all had the same introduction, the individual in government 84. It was admitted at the trial, so 84 was Charity. So Charity Therese met Sonia. She was about 15 or 16 years old. Sonia and her became close friends. Excuse me. Charity Therese talked on the phone with Sonia. Sonia and her, they would share information with each other. And then Sonia shared to Therese that R. Kelly invited her to his Chicago studio. She would travel to Chicago. R. Kelly made the arrangements. She said she was scared. And then after, she was upset. And she said she had to ask to go to the bathroom. She had not eaten. Then they had 2004. Okay, so there was another exhibit, which was a phone number 303-617-7167, which result was the demeanor, concern about the well-being. She said she did not have any resources to get back home. Her expenses. She said that that Sonia did not have any way to get home. She said if Sonia could get a ticket, they would get her a ticket to leave. She was going to ask her mom to get him a ticket. She said she didn't want to talk about what after she didn't get the ticket because she ended up leaving on her own, getting the ticket out of there. She said she did not want to talk about what had happened. She said she wanted nothing else to do with R. Kelly ever again. And that was Charity's letter that she had presented to the courts. Okay. Now, before I get into this next content, which was extremely long, so we're going to be here for a few more minutes, you guys. We're doing good on the time. I'm reading this really swiftly, so I'm proud of myself for that. We're only an hour, 34 minutes in. Let me just check with you guys and see what's going on in the chat. Next is telling nothing but the truth. The courtroom is lit. Thank you. Next. Hey, and hey. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Now, the next witness to come, as I'm going to read all of his testimony, but then there was a break in his testimony because they had to bring in another witness because that witness, it was an out of turn witness because the witness would go, and that witness was pretty much from social services. So we'll get all into that when we get there, but I want to just bring it all to you guys because then once I'm done with this, you guys will be caught all the way up. And you just have to wait for back on schedule for Friday. Maybe I'll do lunchtime lives and then the end of the day lives like as I've been doing, or maybe I'll just take some time to prep and then come back on and bring it to you guys in its entirety. Okay. So the next government witness was Ryan Chabelle. Now I don't know if it's with a C or with an S, but his name is Ryan Chabelle. Now his employment he's Homeland Security. And then they wanted to know what squad, and he was from the trafficking, the in-person group, human trafficking, and human smuggling. Now, who the heck is smuggling humans in their right mind? We know it happens. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to make it seem like it don't happen, but come on, man, you guys for real? Like they was really trying this case for real, for real. Now, how long? He said since October 2016. Prior to that, he was a police detective for Virginia Beach Department. Then they said, how long? And then he said, R. Kelly, do you see? Then they asked him the exhibit, did he see R. Kelly? He said, do you see R. Kelly? He said, okay, let's see. July the 10th, 2019, he started surveilling R. Kelly. He surveilled R. Kelly in Deerfield, Illinois, the northern suburban is where he was surveilling R. Kelly at. Okay, now, right. Okay, so July the 10th, I took in Deer Valley, Illinois, a photo. Okay, a photo, which was a white T-shirt and T-shirt. He said that's George Kelly. Okay, and in the red hoodie was R. Kelly. Then they presented the evidence. 526 said, "What do you see here?" He said, "On the left, a black book bag. Who else was seen?" He said, he said that George Kelly, he lost sight of him. He was out of his view. And then he said, then he came back to the right with a book bag. Okay. Now, they asked, how did Mr. Kelly leave? He said, Mr. Kelly left in a gray Mitsubishi. George left in a Jeep. Okay. Now, let's see. So they said, so they left in separate cars. And he said, yeah. Was there a search warrant issued that day? And it was. Was a search conducted at the address at 401 Wabash, which is the Trump Tower in Chicago, apartment F? He says, if called as a witness at trial, will testify arrest on July 11th outside of the Trump Tower, where the residence is located. Time of R. Kelly's arrest was residence and testify at trial Jane Joycelyn conducted the search warrant. Upon the search warrant, they found 4 iPads, multiple iPhones, and then the exhibits from the government 325 was admitted. So the iPad was also a photo of the iPad. Then there was an iPad, a photo, videos. There were photos. There were video of sexual conduct. The government admits to Alex as nephew. 69 identified as Dominique, aka Neek. Then there's another evidence, 75, which is Jane. Another 76, which is Anna. 78, Joy. 79 has testified as Faith. Video was made back in 2017, 2018. There was a black book bag the day earlier. Was that ever recovered? He said no, it was not. On January the 20th of 2020, January the 9th, 2020, there also was a search warrant. Did you conduct that search warrant? And he's on that day, he said no, I did not. So January 9th, 2020, there was a use at exhibit 360, Kent Avenue, Oak Grove, Illinois storage facility. In exhibit 2C on January the 9th, 2020, conducted the storage. During that search, they have found 2 iPads, multiple phones, including 482-1. January the 9th, there was another search there, multiple hard drives, exhibit 468, 947, and some other numbers, 471, 472, and 473. Now, during the search, the black backpack, was that ever recovered? No, it was not. Was any book bag recovered? Not that I recall. Now, exhibit 902, T Any objections from Canic? No objections. We distributed transcripts. Turn to tab 1. Now, playing for the jury, evidence, and the public, 902. This is a video and audio. Hopefully, there's video and audio is what they said. Certified from, no, this one that they played for the public as well as the jury was a certified copy from BET. Now, in this video, if you guys recall, it was a video of R. Kelly on BET when he was introducing his protege, Aaliyah. And he says, this is Aaliyah. She is 14 years old. She's real street, and her name is Aaliyah. Okay, if you guys recall that video that was on BET, that's what they used in admission to evidence against R. Kelly. Now, do you recognize the voice? He said, yes. And then he said, who? He said, R. Kelly. And then they said, there's no objection. Now, 901A is a copy of Aaliyah's CD and her CD cover, which is titled Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Inside the producer, it was produced by R. Kelly. Now, are you familiar with spouse privilege? Objection, says Canning, which it was sustained. He cannot answer that question. Now, government offers 948 and C, and now, yes, we object to the, okay, so government offers 948A and C and -06, and then Canning objected to it, not 6, 948A and C, and there was an objection from Canning, and they did object to it, they objected to it, and then they had a sidebar. Okay, the government exhibits 828A and B, 965D, 804. Any objections? We just need to see the list, said Canning. Canning says he wanted to try to speed things up to try to help them put their case because I think everybody was bored at this time. Then the judge said, well, it doesn't seem like things are being sped up at all. And then now they moved on to 804. This is their certified annulment records of Aaliyah Dayton and Robert Sylvester Kelly, dated October 18, 1994. On the page of 804, there's an answer to the complaint. 2, 3, and 4 admits paragraph 3 and 4. 78 and 9 is admitted. Now, reading 238, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9, which he admitted, first page. Parties, Aaliyah Houghton Dayton, excuse me if I'm saying her name wrong, Lord rest her soul. R. Kelly, dated August 31st, 1994, in Chicago, same name before the marriage, August 31st. They stopped living together. And then there was an underage plaintiff gave incorrect birthday, no admissions, there was no pregnancy, there was no child, and this is August 31st, 1994. So Aaliyah was never, ever pregnant. Okay, so we can just get that out your minds. No pregnancy. Period. Now, government offers 403. No objections, Canning said. That's correct. Where was 403 recovered? From the storage. And the Kent search 60 on January the 9th. Now, showing 965B and C, a receipt from Nike Town, July 1999. North Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. Special agent, have you been to the Nike store? He said, I have. Now, the receipt says 1999. Is it still there to this day? Yes, it is. Correct. Now, where's the Warlock? Excuse me for not saying that right either. Don't cross me and don't hold it to my heart, y'all. I'm just giving it to you the way I could, okay? So y'all know what I'm talking about, the Warlock, or whatever it's called, okay? Hotel in Chicago. That was within, how far was that from the Nike store? He said it was within 1 block of Nike Town. Now, here's an exhibit, 965B, 965C. Do you recognize those? He said, I do. The red dot indicates Nike Town in Chicago. You'll visit this store more recent than 1999, he said, correct. Now, right around the corner is the hotel. Yes, it is. Exhibit 405 640 8D 415A. Where was they recovered? January 9, 2020 from the storage. 405, the Chocolate Factory, 85 in Laura B, Chicago, Illinois. And don't quote me on the name of that. I'm not from Chicago. I do not know. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, Hollywood don't know. Hollywood don't know. Period. Now, let me know if you have any concerns. Okay, says this is the note that says, let me know if you have any concerns. Tom Arnold signed it. Now, 312-9499. On the second page, exhibit 405 at the top, the first page, 405, the date. Fax was sent March 21st, March 24th, 1995. Time card for Nick, March 8th through March 21st. Now publishing 408 FedEx envelopes found at the storage facility, several FedEx envelopes. What was inside of the envelopes? There were lots of message slips, dates, numbers, and names. 408D, 2 messages recovered at the storage. Messages from Sonia dated October the 12th. 408, there was a FedEx envelope dated December 13th to 2003. There was a 408 telephone message from Sonia dated December 14th, which is an 801 Salt Lake City area code. And he said, yes, that is a Salt Lake City area code. Then there's exhibit 415, FedEx envelopes, old messages, 415 written old messages. You didn't write that. He said, no, I did not. Now, 415A, 801, dated March 16th through March 21st. Each of these are from Sonia. A photograph with the same name written below. Prior to coming into court, did you review the marked exhibits? He said yes. So AT&T landline, yes. Enders reports, there's calls from, there are calls that reflect calls 2001 through 2005. Yes, it did. Were there calls from 801-699-6916 dated March 13th through March 15th, 2004? I'm telling y'all, I was getting everything. I wasn't leaving nothing on the table, y'all. Don't leave nothing on the table now. Come for the crumbs and all. Now, have you reviewed these calls after 2003? Were there more calls from 69916 other than 2004 and 16? Correct. No other calls, sir. Showing evidence 70A. This is a photograph of Jerhonda Pace. It's an evidence. Exhibit 820 is a certified DMV copy. Now, Exhibit 820, is this the same photo? 70A indicates the application 2009 issue, same day, expired April 2009. Driver's license ID, the fact is at the end of the number. The facts are at the end of the number. Can you tell the difference if it's a state ID? The birth date, April 1993, April 22nd, in a few days. Have you reviewed the government exhibit 210? He said, I have. That is listed as Virgin Mobile. Now, there's another exhibit that's not in the evidence. The government offers 2105. Robert's phone number on a screenshot dated the 23rd for 56 seconds. Then there's another exhibit 708. I cannot tell if it's incoming or outcoming. They wanted to know if he could recognize incoming versus outcoming. He couldn't tell on that device. Now, exhibit 466, 408, 408B, 417, 417A, 432C, 433A. Any objections? No objections from Canning. Okay, so beginning with the government 466 review, I have, he reviewed it, he has. Where was it obtained? The same storage. Messages, slips were in there. There are some from Juice, from Variety, of other dates, December the 6th, 2002, January 10th, 2003. Not all listed had the years on it when messages was recovered. They were in large FedEx envelopes. Okay, there were several containers Were they in bunches? Some were together, some were loose in envelopes. A couple here had some dates, and some did not. Are you familiar with Juice true name and birthday? 824. There's a certified DMV record. No objections. Published. I mean, this is going to be admitted into evidence. Published to the jury only. Now, the true first and last name of Juice. Is this true? He said, yes, it is. Is this her date of birth listed? Yes, it is. December 17th, 1985. And then he said, so in 2002, she would have been 17 years old. Is it safe to say? 417 FedEx envelope. Yes, it is. Recovered within 417 and 417A, a subset of recovered. So 432 also is in evidence. Another example of envelopes recovered from the storage. That's how it was when you recovered it. Yes, the government exhibits B and C additional phone messages from Juice, dated November 29th, November 28th, and two messages, no years there was no years to those dates. That is correct. Now, there's a side note to myself. So I wanted to make sure I ain't tripping. Juice never testified, right? So that's just a question for y'all. Y'all get in the chat. Y'all hash that out, okay? I just want to throw that as a side note out there. So, okay. So Exhibit 432, there was a message. Yes, it says where there was, what was the date? He said, I only recall the dates, which was 2002. And then he said, give me a moment. There's quite a few. And then it says, so September 2002, November from Juice. That is correct. Finally, 433 is an evidence. Example of FedEx envelopes. Yes. 12/19/02. There's no dates. Same as recovered. 433A. Did you review it? Yes. 433A. Recovered within 433. Yes. Exhibit 909. Already introduced into evidence. There's no objections. Published for the jury only. Now, 909, jury only. There's a small text. Then there's another exhibit 1010, government exhibits 910, 911, B, certified copy of Walgreens, not relevant, but it was in there. Then there was also 910A, B, and C, prescriptions from R. Kelly. He had a balance award account that they used to purchase prescriptions. The prescriptions to R. Kelly, to the witness, Jane, and then 911 evidence B, which is Walgreens, identified the balance account information or the balance account number for the witness named Jane. 75 prescription in 2009, signed by a Walgreens staff by the name of Jessica Sanny. Now, 11 years. Walgreens hold the records for 11 years, and then they exhibited 910A and B from R. Kelly from 2008 for 11 years from exhibit 910. A and B does not show the back dates after that, and it says that it doesn't mean that prescriptions was not given prior to that. It just don't go as far as, it only goes as far as 2008. So there was a prescription for Valtrex, Valacyclovir also treats herpes. There was a handwritten letter, which is an exhibit 910B, says call in from the phone number by the doctor or the doctor's office. Then it was received. Then there's another exhibit 910C and B used in connections with the purchases. And then they had the customer's ID 910C, 911C associated to additional emails, addresses, UPC extensions, and then more exhibits 910C and B. A particular transaction on 910A and B, 911B are admissible at trial. No need to read. This is the judge telling the government at this point. There's no need to read every word of them. And then they went ahead and said 910AB and 911AB. There's no objections. These records are in government evidence. Are Robert Sylvester Kelly's records from Walgreens, 910A, entry redacted black boxes, a prescription Valis Clarer. Doctor name who prescribed it was K. McGrath, dated April 15, 2007. Then there was another exhibit 910A from September the 6th, 2011, and that's for Valtrex, three prescriptions on July the 30th, 2008 by Dr. McGrath, also Dr. K. McGrath, or K. Mac, excuse me, K. Mac. Now, Exhibit 910C is a stipulations of a rewards card. Stephen Paulin, Jay Brown, and they asked, I am our, I am June Brown. This is from June Brown. Are you the female with, and it says I am. Also, Stephen Pullen, 911 A and B, jury only, please. Again, showing 909, patient listed as Jane Medical Records, 909, dated August 14th, 2015. 911, three different prescriptions for Valtrex, middle for prescription RX number 02027582, also listed 02027582. 911, Exhibit B, balance reward, first and last name. And then it says, are you familiar with the nickname Juice? 925, 925A, 940 is in evidence. There's no objections to that in evidence. Showing 935A as a subscriber on the iCloud used by Victoria Coates. Also 935B, dated December 29th. This is also recovered on the iCloud account number 935, pursuant to the search warrant, yes. Also in the evidence is 121A, telephone records, business records certified, 907 through 946, A and B, 946A, B, and C, 314, 514B. There's no objections. 314 is in evidence. Where was this obtained from? The residence at the Trump Tower. Then there was completions of a training course of R. Kelly. Okay. Now, there's a sidebar at this moment. There's a sidebar. Now, in evidence, 314 Illinois Police firearm training. Now, after the sidebar, now there evidence 314 Illinois Police firearm training facility, which is dated on May 23rd, 2018. And then they said, are you familiar with a lawsuit that was filed by Faith on May 21st, 2018? The government offers 307, 311, 312, 318, 319, 320, 324, 415, 421, 422, 454, 455, 431, 302, 303, 308, 418, 420, 423, 424, 425, 426, 427, 428, 450, 452, 304, 310, 428, 429, 459, 424A and B, 425, 426. All is evidence that is admitted. Did you review 300 and 400? He said, I did. It was 300 recovered from the Trump on July 11, 2019, the day of R. Kelly's arrest. And just give me a second. I don't want this to go out on y'all, so let me give y'all a second to get this together as I complete the video. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Okay. Let me pause this for a second. Okay. And thank you guys so much for just being patient with me while I get things together for you guys. Okay. Now, did you review 300 and 400? He said I did. It was 300 recovered from the Trump Tower on July the 11th, 2019, the day of R. Kelly's arrest. He said it was recovered, and then also there was recovering on January the 9th, 2020. There was a search warrant from the storage. Was there a safe at the storage? He said it was. Was the safe locked? He said yes. Were you able to unlock the safe? He said yes. Was there items in the safe? He said it was. So in paragraph 2E, the government's exhibit 10 something B, don't quote me. Don't quote me, y'all. Don't do that to me. Don't do me like that. Now, during January 9, 2020 search of the storage, there was an iPhone, there was a miscellaneous documentations, there was some other documentations recovered from the locked safe at the storage facility. There's also documentation 412, 420, 423, 424A and B, 425, 426, and 428. Okay? Now, 421 was recovered from the lock safe storage facility. 421 was and document protectors recovered inside, including documents and document protectors in the storage facility. A handwritten letter, that is correct. Jury only. Page 7 was a handwritten letter. I'm going to read to you guys what I was able to write down from these letters. So please don't quote me because I didn't get it all, but I got enough of it to give it to you. Okay. Now the letter. Did you recognize the signature? He said I do. And now it says Jane, who testified. Yes, I'm not mostly front and back of the letter, and it says, and this is how the letter reads: as a grown woman, wake up to my parents to try to ruin his, try to ruin him. I was given the chance who R. Kelly allowed me, who he allowed me to make of, I'm sorry, y'all, to make of, to make something so I could something. I noticed I noticed something. So Mrs. McGlynn, he let me take notes. He worked with me to do to work on his cover song being played on the radio, classical music, middle of walking on the spot. Testified, continue to fix me. A great friend helped me, taught me to enjoy my life. I never had sex with R. Kelly. I never performed for others while around. I interned as much as I could. When I go home, I learned as much as I could from him. So when I go home, I could impress my parents with all that I have learned. Government 319 recovered from the residents at the Trump Tower reads as follows. Hey there, I know that this is a letter to R. Kelly. Hey there, I know that beautiful smile. God will never give you something. Your mother, your grandmother, Aaliyah, and Lulu all are cheering you on. And then this is a handwritten letter that was signed. And then it also says, I thought about what you said. I just don't want to delete my entire social media account. We need to figure this out. Something else, it goes on from there. And it says it covered from R. Kelly. That was recovered from R. Kelly's home, the Trump Tower. So like I said, I wrote as much as I could. If the lady would have just talked a little bit slower, I could have got it all, but she wanted to run through that because I don't think she wanted me to hear it, and she sure didn't want the damn jury to hear it. Because they know I'm up in here and I'm at school, y'all. I'm taking notes, y'all. They big bad, they big bad, they big. Free who? Free what? Free girls. Now, okay, so the government exhibits 130E, 5 pages of phones from Jahonda Pace. Remember, I do what was the last February the 4th, 2010, dated of outgoing, no objections. It was recovered from where it was 412, 413, 414 from a safe inside the storage facility from the Kent Avenue location. She had a nurse assistant's identification that's dated 2009 to 2010. Her date of birth says she's born April 19th, 1990, but the ID said April 19th, 1993. They asked, is this Jahonda's information? And he said the birthday is wrong. And they put that into evidence. 413 have been reviewed. He said he has. Then there was 419. The birth certificate says 1990. I mean, yeah, 1990 or 93. Hold on, let me get it right. When it was found, was it copies? He said, just these copies. Is she the same who testified here? He said, yes. The search warrant was, he said, the search from what? And they said, objection. And then it said, overruled. And then he said, yes, it was a search from the storage facility. Now, there was Mrs. Illinois ID card, Jahonda Monique Johnson, 0419, 1993 is correct, not 1990. She tried to make herself older by saying 90, but it's actually 1993. Also dated 5 to exhibit 712J. And then it says, are you familiar with the number of the year of her birth? Says 90 would stand for 1990. Then the driver's license identification number, the number is not the same. It's 3393. The 3 was changed from a 0. And then there was an exhibit 0719, and then dash 13 is 03/2020/08. 967 exhibit. He said no objections. 511 shows the Barclay Center there in Brooklyn. Yes. And there's an exhibit 927, 923. And then the judge said, is anybody objecting? And mechanic said no. And then it went on to 514B-514. A and B is from the Mandarin Hotel inside the hotel. Who took these pictures? And the detective said he did. He said, when you took these photos, was it occupied? He said it was, but no one was present. Let's get some more light up in here. Let's get some more light. Okay. All right, when I get too dark in here, when I want it too dark, y'all. Let me see. Now, okay, so now I have not made you. This is a letter. I have not made you better. I have not. So I need to think hard and long. God knows I hate myself. I'm sorry. I'm not the woman I'm supposed to be. I'm being goofy, being effortless. I know I am so heartbroken. That's as much as the letter I can get. Then it went on to Exhibit 455. Where was this found? In the storage unit. And then there was a search on January the 9th, 2020. Who testified as Jane? And it says, Robert, this is Jane. They didn't want to call her by her name, but we know who that is. Robert, this is Jane. I'm sorry I had to leave. I have been stealing money from the stash you told me about. I know I stole over $30,000. I'm so sorry, Robert, signed Jane. And I'm sure it was more in that letter, but that's what I was able to gather, you guys. Okay. Let's see. Then there was an Exhibit 302, exhibited from the Trump Tower. Now, did you see the conditions of Government 302? Can you bring it back? He said, I did. It looks like good condition. There's a protector. This is dated 4/25/2019, and there was a signature. Now, it reads, I never seen him with anyone from 1826, any underage girls. Take money to pay rent, to shop every night. Me, I would stop. My mom would threaten me. And oh, this is from Dominique, you guys. I'm sorry. So she said, my mom would threaten me and even to kill the dog. And now we heard this prior to today. I know I have, maybe new to some, but there is a letter out there that has all the details to it. Then there was an exhibit 302 that stated she started to talk me into the She tried to talk me into the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. She had me lie on him. She threatened to put me on the streets. I am tired of seeing R. Kelly go through what he is going through, especially when I know the truth. This is from Dominique. This is a handwritten that appears to be the same. Objection sustained. And then they went on to the jury can make their own conclusion, because this government was trying to, like, be leading with what they should interpret this letter as. And so Cannick objected it, which it was sustained. And so the judge said that, just let the jury make their own decision. Now, there's another evidence, 444, that was found in the storage unit from January 9th, 2020, printed out, named Dominique, says Dominique, and it reads, I know I have to come clean about V and I. I hope you find it in your heart to forgive me. She opened up about her. V and I stole over $20,000, watches, chains, and diamond rings. We would sell it on eBay and split the money. I told my mom you kept me locked in hotels and that you would beat me. And then this is another one that reads, I wanted more when you turned me down. V only wanted your money. V told me she stole your and then it went to she was going to have masked men rob you. I plan to be the getaway driver since I know the area. Please don't press charges. R. Kelly, signed Dominique. That was also put into evidence. Then there was 445 that was read. Please give to Mr. Kelly. This is urgent on one side, and then on the other it said, for the last month I've taken $400 to $500. My mom needed her Dodge Durango fix. She needed $1,800. I hope one day you'll be able to forgive me. The same storage this evidence came from. This is another evidence 448, and it reads, Robert, if you don't give my mom $5,000, I will speak out of the sexual cult. I hope, and then it says $500,000 could stop. You will hear all the lies. You have 3 to 4 days a week. I wasn't certain about the lies. And then it says he would let me. She said that she would tell that he had her locked up for 3 to 4 days, and that she said she wasn't certain about her lies, but he would let her refreshen up just for sex, lie after lie after lie. And then there was 308 evidence. What was the condition of this letter? He said it was torn up. And they said, well, who put it back together? He said he did. And then he said, how did you put it together? He said he sat at a table and he put the text message together by hand. Then there was page 4. It was a handwritten letter. He said, I do not like calling her off. Calling prior, when I told her I had a phone, when I do not. Turn to page 2. I know I cannot use too many excuses, but to text is more convenient because I do not call or text. And then it says, I don't know, Donnie and June was on a flight. Okay, so maybe she was saying something else. But anyway, I wrote what I could. So don't quote me, y'all. I'm giving y'all what I got, okay? I'm giving y'all the best that I got. Now, with us, I noticed June on the ramp had belief. I noticed June on the ramp. Jane had belief on his leash. I told Jane he moved towards the back. And then there's page 3. The reason I don't check in with the doctor because it won't matter anyway. Even if the doctor tell me I am clear, she felt like she didn't have something or a disease, so she just felt like it didn't matter even if she didn't have anything. Then on the final page it said, honestly, I know I'm not good enough for you. And then it says here, and then it says turn, and then it says exhibit 446 to you, and then it says turn over, and then it says my behavior was disrespectful and just wrong. Sorry, I cannot make it up. I acted like and did not know them. I shouldn't have acted like that because I did not know them. I acted like they were strangers. No one deserves that, especially Jane and Juice. This is my last apology letter signed. And then there was another one admitted 420. And they only read little snippets of it because all of this is going into evidence. And it says, Daddy, how do we gain trust that my father bought me? I do want to pay notes. I'm about to turn 27. When will my past be my past? Exhibit 447. Here's another one. Says, I know you said once we left from LA. Can I spend time with my mom, my little brother? I don't have no phone, so my mom, I can't meet her for a few hours. And then that went into exhibit 430A and B and C and D 449. Where was they found? He said the same storage unit. Then there was evidence 428. There was some document protectors that was found in protectors. Did you put those protectors on? He said no. Did you? There was no alterations done. This is put into evidence 427, 424, A and B 425, 426. Found the same storage. Government 456, 457, 459, 460, 461. Where was this located? The same storage. And then 331 was the Trump Tower. Government 401, 409, 449 is in evidence. 312-972. 7783 is a phone number. 497 page 498 is in evidence. Evidence 493 is an iPhone. 497 is a forensic abstract. 497 CDEFGH, also an abstract. 493 is the last numbers of the assistant to the phone. And then there was 206A 709 490 8450, which is for the jury only. Page 1, 497A. Can you see what's shown? It's an attachment. So A451 sent to Diana Copeland, ending in 8222. The second page turn is delivered on 12/6/2017. On the second page is Jane. Preview the message I sent. The message was sent from 8415 sent to, and then it says you should pay close attention to the girl's phone, especially Jane, and what they do. And this is from Anna, a text message from Anna, and you guys can put together who she is. He didn't hit me. The first time he hit me, he said I was a real motherfucker. He squeezed my thigh. Now, only this shit is insane. Oh my, no, said, oh my God, this shit is insane. And then 497C and E went to the jury only. 497E is a forensic abstract from the phone ending in 6694, which is 8415 participant to 6694 or sent to 6694. Then Anna saved as Anna don't answer. December 15, 2017, sent on 8415 ending number, also 6694 number. Didn't mean to FaceTime you. Okay, so here's the message. It said, I didn't mean to FaceTime you. This is DJ. I got information. My people told me to share it with you. But if you're not fucking with it, and then Anna from the phone number ending in 8415 and then 694, the green was sent by, and then her response was DJ who, and then the response says, and what do you, and then she said DJ who, and what do you mean? And he says, I ain't trying to put my name in it, but you fucks with Kels, and you fucks with Kels hard. And then the response was, what? It says, I know you're on your way to LA because somebody is giving this information out, and she says she has information. And then it said, but this is H, and then there was a question mark, and it said, what about Zell? And that was the prosecutor accidentally saying Jane's name or nickname. And then she said her apologies, and she scratched that to say Jane. And then in the response, it says, I don't know too much about her. It's just hidden all the time. You guys are fucking with her hard. And then it says review before. What did you notice? And it said it appears to be from the defendant. And then he said objection. And then it was sustained because he can't prove, that came from R. Kelly. Now, where was this recovered from? The unit 497G. Additional text messages. She's doing direct. If you have questions, you can do your own cross. And this came from the judge to Cannon. Now, 497G included 497C and E, and it says they do, and then went to page 3, item 198415, sent to save to Faith, sent on December 15, 2017. Exhibit 497H, particular contact Anna don't answer on December 15, 2017. Same day the text messages was sent. 497F, do you recognize? He says, I do. What is the cell phone number? It's a report, a cell phone report. Now, what's 497? That's a Google search. 8415 is a web history. Listed number 8415, the phone information. Who's that? And then it says a phone number, don't communicate, showing the forensic abstract 493, the government exhibits 498, 8415, and other ones, and emails, same Kelly at yahoo.com. Reading text messages, Jane Kelly 3415 goes as follows. I'm sorry, this is one extra, wait, this is one extra, something thing. Oh, this is one hard thing you have to deal with. I can only say it's my parents who don't want me around you. I know I haven't talked to anyone or reached out. It's just crazy. And then there's a text message 188-941. One looks like a fine for $1,500 for being sarcastic. I fined Diana $2,000. You motherfuckers got me fucked up if you think you're gonna be sarcastic with me. Then there's a government 912A and B, 934A and B. And then they asked, did you recall about the Super Bowl between the Chicago Bears and the Indianapolis, dated February the 4th, 2007. He said, where? In Miami. The government evidence 328, 329. Have you watched the videos forensic abstract reports? And he said, yes. Here's exhibit 328A. Where was it found? This was at the Trump Tower on the iPad. Now, describe what is shown. He said, as a female, and then they stopped. Objection. Canic requested a sidebar. And then they came back and said, so some video is upsetting. And then it went on to 328A, only be played for the jury. And then there was a tab 2, offers a to the jury, which is 328A, which is considered a transcript that they was able to transcribe of the government 328. Now they're presenting a 15 minutes long video, but they're only going to play the first 11 minutes. Now, 329A. What was played in 329A? The same image. The defendant isn't in it. Sorry, only the female is in it. Now, 348A for the jury only. Doesn't have the transcripts to this one. Now, this is an 8.5 minute long video playing the first 40 seconds of it. And then 328, there's 2 women. R. Kelly was not in the both the videos. Same individuals in the video. Same 2 individuals as in the video using the name of an individual shown in individual 341A, Dominique and Alex. Same individuals in 342A. No transcription for this. Playing the first 40 seconds. Then there's 341A and 342. Who's in this video? R. Kelly, Dominique, and Alex. And then 343A in evidence transcriptions. 343T, tab 3, plays the first 45 seconds. She said the audio speaks for itself. Now, 343B, C, and D is a screenshot that was redacted from the video recovered from the storage. 123 recovered from the residence at the Trump Tower. 484B, BT equals transcripts, and tab 6 in transcript finders playing the first minute on page 1 of the transcripts for the jury only. There was a side note, and it says Tom was accused of stealing from his. This is somebody was talking and gossip in the court. I ain't gonna share all that, but anyway. Okay, so 484 on the screen, evidence, jury only, the storage VHS tape. What was listened to? 484 B extort shown. 485, 485B, BT is a transcript. Transcripts are aiding in the video to help you follow the audio of the video that's being presented. 485 is found in the storage. 485A was found in the storage. The Chocolate Factory, 2008, 8, and 485B. One of the 3 tracks from 485A, yes, just audio. That's an hour and 20 minutes long. And they were going to play 25 minutes of that. And then we took our lunch for yesterday. And then they talked about one page from 3500 this morning with respect to this witness. Don't worry about it. They say yes, they'll be good. And then from there, they brought in another witness. Now, this witness was out of turn, but just so you guys don't lose me, what I want to do is skip through him and come back to him and put him back in the rightful place that he should have been in, and then I will go back to this witness. So I'll fold the page so I know this is the witness that should have came after Ryan, the Homeland Security guy. So before I go any further, let me just take a look in the chat because I want to make sure I'm looking at you guys, shouting you guys out. Please don't be messy in my chat. I don't have nothing against nobody. Don't put me as no pawn to try to turn me one against the other. I deal with everybody. Some I may not associate to, but I don't have no problems. I did not like the shade that was thrown at me yesterday, so I want to make sure I do address that. Because again, I did not come in this fight for friends or recognition or nothing. I came in here as a child of God, as a spiritually connected individual who is spiritually connected to this case and wanted to just use my God's given gift and discernment to put all these pieces to the puzzle together, one piece at a time. So if you guys have drama, please don't bring it on my platform. Get off where you're mad at, but don't bring it in my chat. You will be blocked. I will lose relationships. I give 0 fucks. Y'all know how I get out. Y'all know how I move. So please put some respect on my platform. Put some respect on the woman that I am, because y'all really don't know me. Because if you knew I was a business-minded person, you wouldn't even try to play me short like I'm some sucker or some weak-ass chick. So I just want to throw that out there for anybody out there. If you feeling some type of way, you want to lose communication, jump, motherfucker, because I promise you, you ain't paying my bills. I don't sleep with you. I don't fuck with people all like that. I'm very anti-social and I'm very selectively social. I choose my associates. They don't choose me. When you live to see 44 years old, you're going to learn for some wisdom. You're going to learn who to fuck with, who not to fuck with, who keeping up negativity, who not keeping it up. Don't bring that junk over here, okay? Don't put me in nobody's drama. Don't try to put me in, throw me under the bus to say your own ass, because what God is doing for me, he is doing for me. If you want some blessings, get right with the Lord. Get in alignment, because if he did it for me, he could do it for you. That's my message. And now I'm about to get back into this content. Shout out to everybody that's up in my chat, and fuck the bullshit and fuck the rest. This ain't no bullshit channel. We ain't fit to do none of that over here. So put some fucking respect on when you see a real one out here really doing what she do. Ain't begging, ain't brawling, ain't asking for nothing. I come with my own everything. So at the end of the day, like I said, I give 0 fucks. A nigga crazy, I promise you I get crazier. You know what I'm saying? And I'm solo fucking bolo. I do shit by myself. I don't need a bunch of motherfucking yes men. I don't need no dumbass motherfuckers to be doing stupid shit for me. Hell to the no. If I get myself into it, I'm going to get my fucking self out of it. I don't need no motherfucking crowd. I am the goddamn crowd. So put some fucking respect on this content and this commentary, and hit the motherfucking like button on your way out if you didn't do it on your way in. And don't let the like button hit you where the good Lord split you. You feel me? Period. Now let's get back into this shit. So after coming back on cross-examination, on the continued direct from the prosecutor to Ryan Chabelle. Okay, so they talked about the screening of Surviving R. Kelly. Where was it located? In Manhattan. He said yes. On December the 4th, they wanted to know what happened. 2018, there was a familiar with airing of Surviving R. Kelly. These dates, January the 3rd to 2019. There was a two-part docu-series. He said, yes, that is correct. The second part came out January the 2nd, 2020. It was aired over a couple of nights. Showing in evidence 515 A, B, and C. Did you take photos? He said yes. He said they asked the where. He said it was called the New House that's located in Manhattan. Did you see what's shown in evidence? And if my moderators can't drop these negative comments, I'm gonna drop my moderators because I need y'all to, when I got my head down trying to get this to y'all, I'm gonna need y'all to be on top of that negativity. I don't want that up in my chat when I watch my playback, for real, because that's like y'all being playing games and y'all playing sides, and I don't play that because I ain't worried about nobody. I ain't worried about trying to drag my name, baby. I've been through it all. So when God is for you, He's more than the world against you. I just want to throw that out there because I feel some negativity in my chat, and I have to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't move like that. So anywhere, so let me continue on. So the Surviving R. Kelly was aired in the Manhattan. It was called The New House. Do you see this shown on the evidence? And he said it's kind of blurry. So this is evidence 240Z. And he said it was blurry. Can you see it? Then they fixed it. Say, can you see it now? He said, I can see it. It's a cell phone from Elysian Mayweather. That is true, yes. And then there's more exhibits: 918, 942, 161A, 944, 917AB, 914B, 919, 920, 921, 940, exhibit 914D, 941A, and E, also 940B, C, D, and E. There's 940B, the survivors are exposed, BCC, SCF Studios, Don Indy Builds, June Barrett, okay? Don Russell, a complete legal document filed in the federal court, Surviving Johanna Pace Johnson, redacted from exhibit Survivor number 7, Faith Rogers, a series of photographs and a series of text messages. Final page to be, it says on the final page, it says to be continued, okay? Now, Surviving the Lies was also the creator is Colin Don Russell, okay? Is this the same individual with the Yahoo address 919 in evidence 942 lengthy series hashtag 8261 cell phone number ending or no cell phone 312-203-3030 919 jury only same target number account for Surviving the Lies. Surviving Lies post varies. Post screenshots, status, faith, first and last name, page 292 of the government's exhibit 919. Okay, let's get this content going, y'all. Hit my motherfucking, no, I'm just laying. I don't even sound right saying that, y'all. I really don't. But if you want to donate, you can do so by hitting $Hollywood Next. And you can also Zelle me at gmail.com because I'm telling y'all, you can't get this content nowhere else but somebody that is in this courtroom that's crossing T's and dotting I's. Remember, I come from a law side of the family, so sitting in the courtroom my whole life, and it's just in me, y'all. Even though I didn't want this as my career, I chose to be a foster mother, a teacher, a nurse. Like, I had other things I wanted to do. Yes, I'm a creative writer. But you know what I'm saying? It's in me, y'all. It's in me, y'all. I think I might go to law school, y'all. Nah, I'm just playing. I ain't got time. I'm 44 years old. If I ain't did it by now, guess what? I ain't gonna do it, y'all. I ain't gonna do it. But I'm gonna use my abilities to free R. Kelly. What we doing over here? Free R. Kelly. Free R. Kelly. Free R. Kelly. All right, let's go. Now, there's some post images that was deleted by Facebook indicated uploaded on January the 7th, 2019. Following page posting revenge porn is illegal. There's a search warrant provided on Facebook account, and then the ID 345. Is this the cell phone number that was recovered and received on the arrest? Yes, it is. And they're talking about having Don Russell being arrested. So this is a part of not so much his case, but it does have some relevancy to his case, okay? Because Don was out there doing a lot of stuff, and everything he did was illegal, and it wasn't really to help R. Kelly. I don't know what was going through his mind, if he thought it was. And again, I ain't here to throw no shade, but this is exactly what was going on, okay? So there's a search warrant provided on the Facebook account. The ID 345, is this the cell phone number that was received on the arrest of the individual, Donnell Russell, Colin Russell? Yes, it is. Showing 823 certified DMV record of Donnell Russell. They showed Don Russell, and at that point, the prosecutor rested his case. It's Canning time. Shout out to mechanics. Y'all ready for Canning Hammer time? It's Canning time, y'all. It's Canning time. All I can tell you is Canning time, y'all. It's Canning time. Now, he started off with, hold on. I don't go over there. Now, you heard a long audio, no video. Someone you said was a female and Mr. Kelly. Do you know who it is? I do not know who it is. That he don't know who it is. But mind you, this is the Homeland Security investigator. And what? Are you even near serious? Oh my God. Let me hurry get through this, because I really didn't try to get to the 3-hour minute mark. I don't like long lives. I want them to be able to be bearable, where you guys can just run right through them and stuff. So I ain't gonna have a lot of time to be silly with y'all. But you know, when Candy get on, I turned off. Turn up. All right, let's go. Now, he said, I do not. Did you try to find out who the person was? He regarding a $30,000 watch, he said, I have an idea. I haven't talked to that individual. If they don't just throw the whole case away. Get this dumb ass Homeland Security off the screen, because you mean to tell me somebody took a $30,000 watch and you have an idea who the person is, but as your investigation, your lazy ass didn't go find out who this person was? Fire the whole Homeland team, man. They too desperate trying to take down Kales. Free Kales. Period. Now, so you were shown a letter. Some were signed by Jane. He said, not offhand, I would have to look at them again. I'm just done. I'm done with these prosecutor witnesses. You know what I'm saying? I really am done, because every time they get questioned, they have amnesia. Like, you just testified 5 seconds ago. How do you not remember the letters? Like, come on, you guys. Like, I can't even remember what the fuck I just said 5 minutes ago. Shit. All right. Now, okay, so you were shown letters. Some were signed by Jane. Not offhand, I would have to look at them again. You testified about a safe was used by Mr. Kelly. You never saw who put things in or out of the safe. He said, so you only took stuff out. He said 100%. He ain't seen nobody put nothing in it or out of it. All he knows is what he took out of the safe at 100%. So he 100% accurate on what he got out of it, but you can't say who put in and out. Now, you testified about some documentation that belonged to Jahanda. A three-page appears to be charges to a and then I didn't get all that. He said, so did you ever go to the agency? He said, which one? The DMV, nigga. Like, what the fuck? Did you ask to confirm the identification? He said, you saw the original was a 3, but then it was changed to a 0.
July 11, 2019. And what day did you go to the storage? Almost 5 to 6 months later? You went to the storage 5 to 6 months later? What? Now, 5 to 6 months later, you don't know if anyone went into the storage at that point. Where's the surveillance of the storage dated after R. Kelly went to jail on July 11th? Kenneth, I know you on it. I know you might be watching my platform. You know you a beast in the courtroom, but you know I'm just trying to cross some T's and dot some I's now. I'm going to need you to pull the forensics up and get the information from the storage dated the day he went to jail and see who went in and out of the storage after that, because that's gonna tell how all these letters is mysteriously got there. I'm talking about fresh letters, protective letters, stuff that just, you know what I'm saying? Come on. You know what I'm saying? You got this. I believe in you, Kenny. So I ain't got to worry about you. Okay, so let me see where I'm at. Okay, so you saw the original 308. What date did you go to the storage? Almost 5 to 6 months. He went January the 9th, 2020, and R. Kelly was arrested July 11th, 2019. And so almost 6 months later, you didn't know if anyone went into or out of the storage? Now, the same day of his arrest, the storage unit, Jane, was still at the trunk. I believe so is what his answer was. So she was there until the search warrant. He says he don't know. Now, you learned that Homeland Security that they did a well-being a wellness check, a cold case, and then he said approximately he came on this case approximately 1 year after R. Kelly his arrest. So you wouldn't know what happened. He said, I have most of them. So someone visited the house the 1st of January 2019 until January 9th of 2020, and he didn't do his homework. And so next was, so did you see any of the records about the wellness checks? He said, I know she was interviewed. Do you know when? He said, I believe after R. Kelly's arrest. Dumb mother. Anyway, the only time I was aware she was interviewed was after the arrest of Mr. Kelly. So if it was prior to, he don't know. And I believe it goes on. Now, there was a letter for $30,000 watch mentioned in the letter. There was audio that was unidentified. There was a video of Dominique, Alex, and Jane. Then Friday, 9:30. Okay, so there was 2 witnesses on Friday. Okay, wait. Is this new? Wait, hold on. 2 witnesses. Okay, 2 witnesses on Friday. A witness to Lewis' testimony, whether or not the other workers, if he passed on the number on, there was no contest. Probably rest. Okay, so these are the side notes. Okay, so yeah, these are the side notes. We just about done. I think he was done with that witness, and then they just started talking about other stuff that I just happened to take off. So after he said that, the only time that he was aware that Jane was interviewed was after the arrest, and that if it was prior to, he did not know. Canic was done, and definitely the direct didn't want to go back home. They didn't want to open no more can of worms, okay, for Cross. Now, then they talked about the letter from the $30,000 watch, the audio, the video, and then they're going to start Friday at 9:30. There's 2 witnesses on Friday. There's a witness to Lewis' testimony, whether or not the other worker, if he passed on the numbers on, there's no contest to that. Probably rest on Friday. That's correct. The government who you plan to call, they said let them know on Saturday, early on Saturday. Let them know who and confirm who you plan to call. And then it said repeatedly talk about the concerts 1994, 2003. Each concert took place to enter into stipulations, so they want to talk about that. Then they said showing Demetrius Smith was served as a manager 1994 as a tour manager. He was with R. Kelly We obtained the identification. It says that the title, not sure of what the title is, and then it said, well, parts are mentioned. He was there, so they're going to permit some news, paper articles, concerts of snippets of the concerts. That Demetrius Smith was there. Then there's a stipulation. If not, the government is just going to let it go in. Then there was an agreement on some parties and some cities that are stipulated, and then they provided a copy of some more exhibits to dates or other discovered of witnesses that they plan to call. And then there's a Rule 26 of 3500. Any exhibits, we request the copies before the testimonies. And I should have read that to y'all last, but let's get to the very last witness. He was read out of turn, but I'm putting him back in place the way the government should have. But since he was in a rush and he had to get up out of there, I ain't in no rush. I told y'all this is a special live broadcast just for the viewers. This is strictly for you guys, the supporters, and anybody else that want to get this content and find out what's really going on in that courthouse by somebody that's in that thing really doing what it do. Now, so there was a new witness. The name was Mike Gano Rosario. He was employed by the Human Service. His title was a regional administrator. He managed 10 offices to the city, suburban. Prior to Human Services, since he's been there since 1988, he did some local office in Chicago and Cook County. He managed over 700 employees. He had over 100 staff and offices with over 700 public members who receive public benefits. Also, the recipients and the correct amount of money benefits to be, distributed on cash aid. Then there was unemployment. There was temps, assistants, case workers, disabled. He managed over the SNAP, which is the food stamps program, caseworker, clerk caseworker, worker at the multiple offices. He was a public aide. He was a floor runner for the health services created in the 1960s. Also executive branch with the governor, Jim Edgar, or whatever. I don't know these people's names. Functions, dispense public to needies, Illinois recipients. The split was made in 1998. The Human and Health and Family Services was Department's Family Health Services at one point in time. And then 1990 to 1994, local offices. He managed multiple offices. He was doing some clerical in 88 to 92, a caseworker, local, then public administrator, clerical, staff, general to ensure the cash programs was done on time, eligibility to ongoing in 1994. How long did it process for an application? It took up to 30 days. If they were eligible, if they wasn't eligible, a same day process, a requirement to be residents. The age requirements was 18 years old. There was some exceptions for Medicare under the age of 18. If you wasn't living with your parent, they could be eligible for Medicare program. In 1994, did they go through the same process? There was a sidebar by Canning, and then they came back, and then they did. Then the application will go through an interview and eligibility process. There was money. They asked, was there ever a way that people could give money and gifts or property to bypass the application and the interview and eligibility process? And he said no. And then it said, so an employee could give for cash for getting eligible. They said no. He said, did they keep the records? Yes. Would the Health and Family Service still have them? Yes. Then there was 903 exhibit and evidence, accepted cash for getting benefits. They can't bypass the process. Exhibit review prior, yes. 903 from legacy system. Medicare man information screen was Demetrius Smith. Then the date was September the 1st, 1990. Through January 25th, 1991, he was receiving general assistance, cash only for a single individual of $100 a month. July 7th, there was a general assistance program. The city and county they from 223 is a representative. He says that it identifies the office. The 2 indicates the Cook County. The application was in regards. Did the documents and the date? Did Demetrius Smith fill out an application? He said yes. Did he qualify? He said yes. Now, prior to the testimonies, you were aware of Aaliyah Dayton Houghton yes. Name, yes. Date of birth, yes. Now, health services, none were discovered. Exhibit 904, 905, no records with her name or her social security number or her birth certificate. With respect to Aaliyah, there was no record found. You better put some respect on Aaliyah because I was about to jump up and through that screen on their butts. Now, 803A, which is IDPA, stands for Illinois Department of Public Aid. The same to Demetrius Smith's, which is similar. Um, there's 212, which is the 212 stands for the Woodlawn office, the city of Chicago. All employees would know the process. Mechanic did not have no cross on that. And then the government offered some other exhibits to the last person, which I totally forgot to give to y'all. But it was 1006 through 1010, 1013, 1016, 1011. There were some stipulations that was entered by the parties. Then there have the travel records, and they all are in order from 601 through 632, 633 A through F, 634 through 635, 636 A and B, 637 A and B, 638 through 640, 642 A and B, 643 through 644 A and B, 645, 646 A through D. They're certified records. 822, 833, 829. There's public records 801, 802, 804, 812, 814, 815 of exhibits. All are in evidence. And I drops the mic. I'm done, y'all. Now y'all know what's in my head. Now y'all know what's in my notes. We are caught up to speed, you guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this special live that was just for you guys. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. It's too many to name all by one, but you know it's nothing but love from Hollywood Team Next, pieces of the puzzle, sexy pieces. I will look and see if there's some comments that I can read if you have any specific questions. But I appreciate every one of you guys. I'm going to stay on for about 7 minutes. We're going to just stop it at the 3-hour mark and just, round this on up to the nearest 100. And I appreciate y'all. I really do. So let me just see what's been going on. Ooh, my phone is lit like a light bulb. Ooh, sorry. I moved something and you know how that go. Okay, so let's see. Please don't fall no more. Please don't fall no more. Okay, let me see. There's something I wanted to get open. Done with that one. And then that's going to conclude the live. Okay, so like I said, let me see what's going on. Oh, you guys are so welcome. Little Rico, Felicia Tucker, Felicia Fee, D Brown, Peace in the Puzzle. Y'all got to put them up there because I don't want to touch the screen and then get the messing all up. Daddy Lolo said Hollywood, once he get found not guilty on all charges in New York, what you think will happen in Chicago? I'm thinking that they're going to drop it all because, I mean, hey, you couldn't prove this. You can't prove nothing. Brooklyn Taylor, Angel H., Free R. Kelly, Ashley Davis says D. Brown, Alex is John Doe, a.k.a. number 2 nephew. Yes, he is. Do you know who they have testifying for the defense? No, but the prosecutor will be resting their case this Friday. They have 2 witnesses that's going to testify, and then they're not going to, we probably have a short day, or as soon as they're done, then our day will end. Kanik has until Monday, and the defense will start their defense on Monday. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. This is like the moment of truth, y'all. It's getting down to the meat. You know what I'm saying? So this is awesome. I feel really optimistic. I feel positive. I'm connecting to my higher power. So I'm cleansing. I'm getting all negativity up out of me so I can stay focused on bringing it to you guys the way I did today. I want to do this all the time. So y'all might have to just wait a little while I get things together so I can present it. Now, if my notes look as good as the last notes that I was reading before I had to go, go back over some things, then I'll present it to you guys. But if I get up in there and I'm shorthanding it, then I don't want to bring it to y'all like that, because one of my lives I really wasn't happy with. But I'm a work in progress, and hey, I still brought it to y'all regardless of the order it was in or not. But it was definitely lined up the way it came out. I didn't put anything out of order. I always give it to y'all that way. Who is Cheryl Mack? Cheryl Mack is London on the track, mama. That's who she is. She wrote a book. My understanding, she is not for Kels. Let's see. Mrs. Duncan said, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. If the defense is going to say anything about Tasha K, no, they're not. Her case is really don't have nothing to do with it, from my understanding, and that's from some very close sources. Next, I'm coming to see you at court. Okay, Minecraft, pull up, pull up. Oh, wait, somebody asked me. Hold on, let me see if I can pause this. Hold on, let me show y'all, because somebody asked me a question and I never got a chance to show y'all. So let me see if I can pull it out right now. Okay, so here it is. I got it. Okay, so when I was shopping last week, you saw how my one of my subscribers, and shout out to my subscriber, she gave me this nice coach, and it smells so good. I opened it before anything, but someone wanted to know what did I get from Macy's, and I ended up getting this particular Chanel fragrance. Just to let you guys know, because somebody wanted to know, what did you get from Macy's? I didn't get a chance to open it yet. I ain't put it on. I'm so hooked on Coach. I don't know if I'm ever going to open Chanel. So I just want to throw that out there. But I did get the Chanel fragrance, because it's really a soft fragrance. And I like soft fragrances. I don't like loud, because I don't want a headache, and I'm really allergic to fragrances. And my subscriber knew I was allergic to fragrances, but I took a risk with it by accepting it. And I must tell her she did good. It's not too loud. It's perfect, and I love it. And me being hyperallergenic, it works perfect for me. So I'm good. And I'll be taking 2 Excedrins prior to court, because I know I'm going to have a headache anyway, just for being in there and the intensity. It's a lot of anti-R. Kelly reporters, and I feel like I'm all alone up in there. I don't have a lot of people but the supporters that's behind me, and they got my back. So shout out to the supporters that's behind me, although I'm up in the front and the head of the class, because God put me in that position, and I humbly take it. I don't take it for granted. I'm not bigger than nobody. I'm the same as each and every one of you guys. I love all y'all. I was once behind there. I just got put up, and I'm thankful. I accept it with all of me, and I hope you guys continue to support the channel, continue to support me. Just hit the like, share, subscribe button. I don't ask for much, but I will be leaving for Texas this Friday to go visit my children that's already there. They've been there all week, supporting their dad and their uncle and their family for losing their grandmother. So I'm going to go lift my children up and be there for them, as well as their dad and their family. I'll go live when I get to Texas, and I'll be back, okay? Your girl is coming back. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going to leave y'all high and dry, because I know y'all look forward to this content. I know y'all want the way I'm going to bring it to y'all, because, not trying to brag or anything, but I was a nerd in school. I learned some street shit hanging around the hood. You know what I'm saying? I was up to no good. But I like to be like this, because the professional side, it just fits me more. And I'm 44. I don't want to be doing the things I used to do 20 years ago, 20 years later. I just want to live a happy, healthy life. And I wish nothing but the best for each and every one of you guys. Someone says, sorry on your clothes. You should also check out Dior. Absolutely blooming. Dang, it smells good and not too strong. Okay, thank you. I definitely will. Cali, West Coast love, thank you so much. Shout out to California, Sanford, motherfucking Cisco, and the goddamn Bay, nigga town bound, Oakland, California, baby. Shout out to the town, baby. The motherfucking 70s, the 90s, the 80s, the murder doves. Y'all know what it is. Lower bottom, west, the west, all the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. They go from Fillmore to Page Street, from the KO, nigga. I can shout out everybody out now, nigga. It is what it is. They gonna see your girl is on here. Shout out to the motherfucker 15 below, the VGs, who, you know what I'm saying? They had a lot of doing with getting them G's and shit, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to 15 below. Shout out to Fillmore. Shout out to the Valley. Shout out to everybody that may tune into this live and see your girl. Make sure I shout y'all out. Shout out to Hunters Point, Sunnydale, Swampy D, Lakeview, Potrero Hill, Army Street. You all said it's Cali all day, baby. Shout out to the North Coast up there in LA. You all said Inglewood, always up to no good. Crenshaw, you all said. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Nipsey Hustle. The hustle continues and the marathon must go on. It's my time. I love each and every one of you guys. Don't forget, dear friends, let us love one another. For love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever don't love don't know God, because God is love. And I can't forget Two Rock and the 5-shot posse and the 2-shot hoes, because I was one of them 2-shot bitches. We was getting that shit. We was rolling that dice 7 to 11. But anyway, I don't need to go that far back, but y'all get the drift. And before I go, I'm going to let y'all leave out with a positive note. Peace and blessing. God is love. Keep him first. He'll take the place you never even dreamed of. I promise you that. Hollywood pieces.
Say it till the world hears you. Say it till the enemy hears you. I'm going to nail it. Whatever you come against, or whatever comes against you, I command you this day, in the name of the Lord Jesus, to nail it. Stop entertaining stuff you won't nail. If it gets in your kit, nail it. If it lays in your bed, nail it. I don't care if it's grief. I don't care if it's anger. I don't care if it's low self-esteem. It's time to nail it. You ain't got time to feel sorry for yourself. This is a moment for you to nail that thing.
Free R. Kelly.
All
we yelling over here.
You gotta get
Pieces.
therapy, take counseling, take medicine, read scriptures, say Bible verses, sing, oh, I love Jesus, turn around in a circle. I don't care what you use as a weapon, but fight. 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 Till you nail it.
Fighting for Kels till we nail it, y'all. Fighting for Kels till we nail it, y'all. Fighting for Kels till we nail it, y'all. You better holler. Fighting for Kels till we nail it. Fight. Fight. God be the glory. May God be the glory from the heads to the soles of our feet. May he cover each and every one of us in the blood. That velvet glove. Make some noise, y'all. Put them puzzles in the chat. Put them hearts in the chat. Put that brain and that mouthpiece in the chat. You thinkers and you speakers. Free Kels. I love all y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody. I love all y'all. Keep peace in the air. Free R. Kelly is all we yelling. Thank you. Thank you. Nail it. Utterly destroyed. Utterly destroyed. Anything the devil meant for harm, God gonna turn around and use it for the good. I'm a witness, and y'all witnessing the good of God by seeing the transaction in y'all face. Don't be sleep to the beat.
Out of your family, out of your daughter, out of your grandchildren.
909, baby.
Utterly destroyed. Utterly destroyed. Utterly destroyed. Utterly destroyed. Utterly destroyed. Utterly. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank y'all for getting the word in too. Free Kels. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for using my vessel the way you chose. This is God's doing. I'm just a faithful servant, y'all. East Oakland in the house. Town bound, baby. City situation. Where your fight at? God is the judge of all judges. Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. Utterly. Now I can cry, y'all. God is good. Off camera.
That's my prophecy to you this week. As you go into this week. As you go into this week.
Shout out to South Texas, 956. Put where you from in the chat.
For the first time, I began to realize, all my life, I wondered, why did he call me?
Why me, Lord?
One of those talented people.
Why me, Lord?
One of those gifted people.
He could have got anybody. He chose Hollywood. See you guys on the next one.
Why did he?
I see y'all on the next one. Pieces.
That he chose me because he turns weakness into strength.
Yes, he does. See y'all on the next one.
The Bible said he did it with Samson. He did it with Jephthah.
Pieces, y'all.
He did it with Barack.
Pieces. Shout out to Gospel Glam and everybody in the chat. Yeah, my yay, yay.